gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Back when they thought pink polos would hurt the ride. Before Cam got the shit to pop, the doors closed. I felt like bad boy street team. I couldn't work the locks. Now let's go. Take them back to the plan. Me and my mama hopped in that U-Haul van. Any pessimists, I ain't talk to them. Plus I ain't had no phone in my apartment. Let's take them back to the club. It's about an hour, I stand online. I just wanted to dance. I went to Jacob an hour after I got my advance. I just wanted to shine. Jay favorite line, dog, in due time. Now he look at me like, damn, dog, you what I am. A hip-hop legend, I think I died in an accident, cause this must be heaven. I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. I'm sky high. I'm sky high. I'm sky high. Sky high. I'm sky high. Sky high. I'm sky high. I'm sky high. Sky high. Back when Gucci was a shit to rock. Back when Slick Rick got the shit to pop. I'd do anything to say I got it. Damn, them new loafers hurt my pocket. Before anybody wanted K-West beats, me and my girl split the buffet at KFC. Dog, I was having nervous breakdowns. Like, man, these niggas that much better than me. Baby, I'm going on an aeroplane, and I don't know if I'll be back again. Sure enough, I sent the plane tickets, but when she came, the kicker things became different. Any girl I cheated on, she skeeted on. Couldn't keep it at home, thought I needed a knee alone. I'm trying to right my wrong, but it's funny them same wrongs help me write the song now. I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky. You gon' touch the sky, baby girl. Testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. Sky high. I'm sky high. I'm sky high. Sky high. Testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky.
Yes, yes, yes. Guess who's on third? Lupe still like Lupe in the third. Here like here till I'm bitter on the curb. Peach fuzz buzz, but bitter on the verge. Let's slow it down like river on the serve. Bottle shaped body like Mrs. Butterworth. But before you say another word, I'm back on the block like I'm laying on the street. I'm trying to stop lying like I'm Rob, but I'm not lying when I'm laying on the beat. On guard, a touche, Lupe, cool as the unthought, but I still feel possessed as a gun charge. To come as correct as a porn star. And the fresh pair of steps and my best phone car. So I represent the first. Now let me end my verse right where the horns are like,
I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky. You gon' touch the sky, baby girl. Testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky.
You back at home, baby.
Sky high. I'm 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 sky high. Sky high. I'm sky high.
Yeah, you on it. Yeah. Feels good to be home, baby. Feels good to be home.
Why everything that's supposed to be bad make me feel so good? Everything they told me not to was exactly what I would. Man, I tried to stop, man, I tried the best I could, but
Make me smile.
what's your addiction? Is it money? Is it girls? Is it weed? I've been afflicted by that one.
Hell, Breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dice rolling when you're doing that thing over there, homie. Hey, let's go! Cause I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away. Better know that I don't and I won't ever stop. Cause you know I gotta win every day. Go! See, you really wanna pop me. Go! Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I gotta be a little cocky. Go! You ain't never gonna stop me. Every time I come, a nigga gotta set it, then I gotta go, and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow, and then I gotta shut it. Any little thing a nigga think that he be doing, cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm gonna dead it. Then I'm gonna murder everything and anything about it. Boom, about a bing. I gotta do a lot of things to make it clearer to a couple niggas that I always win, and then I gotta get it again and again and again. And I be doing it to death, and now I move a little foul. Nigga better call a rap, and everybody know my style. Niggas know that I'm the best when it comes to doing this, and I be banging on my chest, and I bang in the east, and I banging in the west, and I come to give you more, and I will never give you less. You will hear it in the street, and you can read it in the press. Do you really wanna know what's next? Let's go. See the way we on it, and we all up in the race, and you know we gotta go now, try to keep up with the pace, and we struggling and hustling and set it, and to get it, and we always gotta do it, take it to another place, gotta taste it, and I gotta grab it, and I gotta cut all through this traffic just to be at the top of the throne, but I know I gotta have it.
Hey, gamers, what is popping? Date Bayo Mina-san. What up? What up, Slime? How we doing? How we doing? Welcome to the stream. Finally got a pretty smooth start. I think we got it, guys. I think this was the one. Did I hiccup? I didn't hiccup. Mic is unmuted. There's no random Valorant ad playing. We finally did it. Yay, guys. I started stream correctly. I started stream properly. I'm glad to see that we're chilling. Finally timed it right. All right, chat. I'm leveling up my game. I'm improving. And you know, go figure. I finally start the stream right on probably the most depressing stream of all time. Chat, I'm not gonna lie, the stream is gonna be a bit of a bummer, but we're gonna complain a lot. So you know, there's that. You know, when you're sad, the most fun thing to do is complain. So let's crack open a Monster Java, cause I'm gonna need it probably. All right, gang. So, who's seen today's news? Are you sad because I like Mythos? No, I didn't like Mythos. I don't really care about Mythos. No, we'll get into why I'm sad in like 4 seconds because it's gonna become very apparent. But no, I think Mythos is it's fine. Actually, I think maybe the way we should put it is I'm sad because I'm probably going to like Mythos more than this one. And I don't like Mythos. So here we are. Locates too many games. I mean, I don't because there's another crossover? No, we'll get into it. Here's the thing, right? That I think Bandai has too many games. I don't agree. Like, you know, the more I think about it, and I went into this a little bit on a previous stream, but like, people talk about Bandai is getting too many games. Bandai's getting too many games. They have too many games. They keep putting out so many TCGs. How could they possibly manage all these TCGs? And really, I think it makes perfect sense. Only when you are making these games that are based on pre-existing IPs. And what I mean by that is, you know, for example, right? Let's look at the new game, okay? Everyone knows it's Naruto. We all know it's Naruto. I'm not going to make some big stink out of it. We all know it's Naruto. We knew it was going to be Naruto. And then the New York Yankees spoiled that it was Naruto, which was hilarious. But now we know it's Naruto. All right, right? So people complain, why is Bushy making all these card games? Bushy's making too many card games. And I don't think I agree with that sentiment specifically. I don't think they're making too many card games. Because let's look at example, right? But like Bandai has One Piece, all right? And then they make Naruto. Okay, what happens? Well, you get a bunch of new players that like Naruto, don't like One Piece. And then maybe you have some people that leave One Piece for Naruto. But no one's going to... Very rarely, no one is going to really quit One Piece because Naruto exists. They're most likely either going to keep playing One Piece or move from One Piece to Naruto. In which case, your customer base is still giving you the same amount of money. The only real difference there is two things. One, you are producing twice as much product, so there's cost to that for sure, right? And two, you have less people spending money on an individual game. Basically what I'm getting at is the only downside to I keep saying when I say Bushy Road, because Bushy has this problem too, technically. The only real downside to Bandai printing all of these IP games is that it's spreading its player base like thinly across all of them. So the one area in which this can go wrong, outside of course, the game just flopping, right? The only other way this can go wrong is if they spread the player base too thin, and now you don't have enough people playing like Digimon to keep that game alive, to sustain itself, right? That's the only place where we hit a problem. So like Bandai making 5 different games is fine. When they make 10 games, that's where we start to have a bit of a problem. Right, it was Naruto, superstitious card games being less focused, right? So that one's like kind of fair. But that is right. So that's the one problem is you can have your player base spread too thin, and now you don't have enough people buying one of the games to keep it alive. Right? We are not going to have that problem in Naruto because the people playing the low tier Bandai games like Digimon, Dragon Ball Fusion World, they're already pretty locked in. It's not likely someone is going to go drop Digimon for Naruto. It's plausible, but not super likely. But we have seen a lot of people, if you've been on Twitter, you've probably seen a lot of people saying that they are going to drop One Piece for Naruto. Now, is that bad? Not really. Because when you think about it, when One Piece first came out, and it's arguable One Piece has only gotten more popular since then. When One Piece first came out, product was like impossible to find, right? People were buying up boxes left and right. You had to go scour like Hot Topics just to maybe find a booster pack. And that can only really mean that Bandai was making what's the word I'm looking for? That means that Bandai was not only making the amount of money they needed to keep it afloat, they were making more than enough money. They were selling out of product. Most card game, any tier 1 card game, right, that doesn't like print based on pre-order, right, doesn't sell out of product. You don't want to sell out of product. That's a bad thing. That's how you get like $300 booster boxes, right? It's bad. You don't want to sell out of product. But selling out of product does mean that you have essentially made way more money than you ever intended to. So if a bunch of One Piece players leave One Piece and go to Naruto, well, all that does is make Bandai more money from the people that picked up the game because of, like, all of the new TCG players that are playing because it's Naruto, all of the non-TCG playing Naruto fans that pick up the game. That's just new customers, right? And then the previous customer base they already have that is moving from One Piece to Naruto is only freeing up space for more product to be sold at a, like, normal rate. Like, it only helps, like, you know, people quitting One Piece only helps the supply issue because it's less people buying product, right? It's not like One Piece is going to suddenly go under. If anything, they're having trouble keeping up with the demand. It's a good problem to have, but it's one that is hard to, like, you know what I mean? It's not really a big, like, a bunch of people start quitting One Piece all of a sudden. It's not really a big problem for Bandai, right? So when printing these new IP-based games, what you are getting is a whole new player base, right, that is there for that IP, and then a majority of the players that leave your pre-existing games actually only end up freeing up some space. It ends up, like, helping diminish the already extremely high demand. So if anything, Bandai's having these supply issues with, like, One Piece and Gundam. Printing more of these TCGs, so as long as it's not a significant, like, cost, what's the word I'm looking for? So long as it is not a very significant, like, buy-in for them to fund the creation of these new TCGs, right? As long as that doesn't cost them so much money, they are now, like, losing money, not profiting. Printing more and more games kind of actually only helps them in a weird way. So it's not only, like, a good idea for them to just keep doing this until it stops working, but I mean, like, if you're Bandai and you go, hey, we're gonna make another game, what IP can we get? Oh, we can get Naruto. All right, let's make a Naruto game. They announce the Naruto game, and then half of the Twitter sphere goes, oh my gosh, IP I like, time to drop, time to put all my life savings into this game. Why should they not keep doing that until it doesn't work? Right? If anything, it just helps them. They get new players, and then the only players they're going to lose from their games, for the most part, helps them, as long as they're not losing games from, like, Dragon Ball or Digimon, which those people that are still left, that still remain in those games, are very committed and already entrenched. The only people they're going to lose is, like, the One Piece and Gundam players that aren't super highly invested, in which case that's kind of good for them, because there's a little too much demand in those games anyway. So, yeah, when people complain, like, Bandai is releasing too many games, I understand the sentiment from the customer base, but I think it's also important to, like, really understand, like, and, like, you know, take a step back and realize that, like, wait, no, they're not just, like, cause the sentiment I see on Twitter all the time is people go, oh, yes, another Bandai pump and dump. Bandai has never pumped and dumped a game, ever, when you think about it. At least not an IP-based game. You can maybe technically count Battle Spirit Saga, but that's not a pump. They never dumped it. It just was a flop. It failed immediately. And that's mostly because it was a Bandai game that had no IP to coast off of. It was just Bandai's faults, pure and consolidated into concentrate. There was no IP to save it from all of Bandai's mishaps, so of course it died almost instantaneously. But every other Bandai IP, they've never dumped or really pumped. They just kind of print it. And if people like it, they buy it. And typically with IP games, you already have a set floor of fans that will engage with it just for the sole fact that they like the IP so much. So you already have your like consumer base floor. And as long as that floor doesn't like put your product at a loss, then you're good to go. So I do think it's important to like realize like, yeah, there's like there's no reason for them to not keep doing these things when they are so profitable and kind of don't hurt them in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it only helps them. But yeah, it's always weird seeing the sentiment of like, oh, another Bandai pumping up game. Oh, like I get it. They produce games at a rapid rate. They've been pumping them out, but like, can you really blame them? And when you think about it, like, not really. They can't really. They've all been successful, right? Even the oldest ones are still going. Even Dragon Ball, probably you could consider the game that kicked off like the Bandai Renaissance or whatever. The game's still going good. They had to reboot to Fusion World, much like Vanguard did to Standard, but that game's still very much alive, and a lot of it is because it has its baseline consumer base that enjoy the game for its IP, or maybe more of the Vanguard reason they have been entrenched since the early days of like 2016 or 15 when that game first came out. They've just been playing it for so long, that's just their game, and it's just what they play. But yeah, I saw it coming earlier I want to go back to, because that's a good segue. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Empire, your comment about I think people are superstitious about having more card games means less focus on developing their favorite card game. Here's the thing. When we look at the like lower tier Bandai games like Dragon Ball, Fusion World, like Digimon, these are IP games that have, right, the built-in consumer floor of like, you have the flat base floor of people that will play the game because they adore the IP. It's their favorite IP of all time, and they want to play the card game about it. They want to summon their favorite Digimon, right? You have that. But you also have a built-in ceiling in that a card game based off an IP really can only ever be as popular as the IP it is based off. I mean, if you can find me one person that plays the Digimon TCG solely for the mechanics, like they're not a fan of Digimon, they just like the game, I'll give you like $1 million. I don't think that exists because that game is kind of mid. But if you like Digimon, I'm sure it's the greatest game in the world. So a lot of these games can really only get as popular as the IP is. Now, granted, Dragon Ball, it's a very big IP, right? That's not to say like these are unpopular IPs, but you do kind of have a ceiling in there. So when people talk about like, it's unfortunate that like, oh, another new game means less Digimon support. Can you really be like that mad? Not to be big corporation defender over here, but like, I do think there is value in taking a step back and viewing it with some sense of like, objective logic in that, can you really be mad for them not putting all of their resources into the Digimon IP? Like, I know if I was president of Bandai, I probably wouldn't, because the Digimon IP has like only as a cap as to how big it can get, right? And then you can look at the vice versa example of popular games like One Piece, right? Well, One Piece is really popular. It's because One Piece is one of, if not the biggest media franchises in the world right now, right? It's a slam dunk IP. Of course they're going to invest a lot of resources into promoting One Piece because A, it's a humongous IP, but B, it is also a humongous IP that's recently seen a massive boom, right? The anime is doing incredible. It was big enough to the point where it got like a live action Netflix series that isn't the worst thing you've ever seen in your entire life. The game is in an incredible state. So yeah, it has the ceiling to go very high. But games like Digimon, games like Dragon Ball, which is a huge IP, but when was the last time we got like a new Dragon Ball thing that people really liked, right? It was probably like Super, right? There was like small stuff like Heroes and things, but when was the last time Dragon Ball was ever really big? Probably not after Super. I know people didn't really like Daima. I'm sure some diehard fans did, right? But like, a lot of the popularity of these games is really tied to their popularity in like the cultural zeitgeist, right? And I think that's really important. So understand. So to wrap it up, I understand that like it is unfortunate to be like, oh no, there's a Naruto game that's gonna pull away resources for them supporting Digimon. I would argue Digimon, like, I would say that even if Naruto didn't exist, Digimon would still get the same level of support. And from what I've seen, apparently there were some good like announcements in the stream for like Digimon and Dragon Ball. I saw a bunch of memes that were saying they were eating really good. It's like, that's awesome. But I don't think it's incredibly realistic to say that these card games existing genuinely takes away resources from these other games, because I don't think these games would get those resources in the first place, right? I'm pretty sure if you are John Bandai, if you had resources, let's say Naruto didn't exist and you had generically quoted resources to spare, you're probably going to put them more towards Bandai and you're probably going to put them more towards One Piece and Gundam, because those are what are big right now and what are doing really, really well. Digimon, you put a little bit into Digimon, but like, I can't see them doing a humongous push towards it. So while I do understand the sentiment behind being disappointed, like, oh, a new card game means resources taken away from my game, I understand that, and that is a frustrating feeling, but I don't think it is entirely the fault of just the new game existing. I think there is a bit more going on behind the scenes with the fact that the game can only really get so popular. It does not have like an infinite popularity ceiling on it the way a game like Cardfight Vanguard or Magic does. And I'm speaking entirely like IP wise, not gameplay wise. But like the intellectual property of Vanguard and Magic, like those are infinitely scalable. Anyone can like those. But like, to like the Digimon card game, you kind of have to already like Digimon, especially with how Bandai makes their games. And this is where the criticism of Bandai can come in. I've seen some chatters mention it. It is like the real like problem that is with these TCGs existing is not that like there are so many IP games. It is, the problem is that they are all the same game. Is that Bandai is constantly just remaking the same game over and over and again, and just slapping a new coat of paint on it and calling it a new thing, and then selling it purely off of the back of its intellectual property. That's really where the main issue comes into play. It's not that people are upset that there's a Dragon Ball game and a Digimon game and a Naruto game and a One Piece game. The problem is that they've just released the same game over and over and over again. It's just a different flavor every time. I think that's more of a much more substantial criticism to seeing new games released than just by being like, oh no, Naruto's out, they're going to stop making Digimon. Rats. Let me read some chat. Some chat. Auto card games should be or want to be a competitive focused game. That's Cardfight Vanguard, baby. That is Cardfight Vanguard with the Union Arena stands. Union Arena is one of those things where I mean, it's their White Schwartz. And that's one that's like, as long as they keep procuring titles that are liked by some people, it will always be popular, and you always will draw new players in. Union Arena is really the game for people that play Bandai games, where they get to be like, yeah, I'm a One Piece player, but this Union Arena set, oh, they just made a solo leveling set. I love solo leveling. I'm going to pick up a Union Arena deck and then jam some games with my friends for fun. I'm just going to have that solo leveling deck. It's Union Arena. It's the ultimate side game. In the way that Vanguard used to be a side game, it is the ultimate side game. You are meant to find the anime you like. You wait for them to print an anime you like, and when they do, you go buy the deck for it and go, this is my deck. I have this for Union Arena. I play this now. We're good to go. I also think that like the popularity of Union Arena really shows that unless there's some like behind the scenes stuff we don't know, and Union Arena is actually bleeding Bandai dry and losing them trillions of dollars, I think it goes to show how unpopular a game can be to still be successful or profitable enough for a company to keep printing it, right? Or you could even also argue like One Piece makes so much money that it can singly fund the entire production of games like Union Arena and even like Digimon and Dragon Ball to that extent, right? These games don't have to be extremely popular to succeed. I think the only way a game fails is if it is a massive flop like Battle Spirits Saga, but any game with an IP attached to it is almost never going to do that bad because there will always be some level of baseline fan base to play it. The only thing you have to do is not like completely and utterly screw up the game. But like if Digimon can survive the early Rookie Rush meta right into the stupid I sit in the breeding area, I build my OTK stack meta, and then finally become a real game, I think that kind of showed Bandai that as long as they put IP on the game, it will do okay. Also, this dumb card is the reason we got Gundam, right? This also showed Bandai, hey, if we just slap an IP on the game, it'll do a lot better than if we don't. So I think this really taught them the importance of just putting a recognizable IP on a thing and how much longevity that can just give to a game inherently. But yeah, not gonna lie, surprised it was Naruto. You talked about it last stream, but I thought that considering the IP had already gone years ago. I actually figured it out. I didn't figure it out, but I saw a tweet that from my GOAT main deck man that what am I talking about? I saw a tweet from my GOAT main deck Dan that I didn't even think about. I should have already known this was a thing since it's how Attack on Titan got handled. What happened is Naruto Mythos has the rights to specifically the anime, which they bought from TV Tokyo, and Bandai has the rights to the Naruto manga and IP, which they bought from Shueisha. Basically what this means is that Naruto Mythos is all anime screenshots and like pre-made assets and PNGs, and the Bandai Naruto game is going to be all either art from the manga or original art, a lot like One Piece. The art for Naruto is going to be a lot like the art from One Piece, just minus anime screenshots. So honestly, like art-wise, kind of a huge win. Or it might be a bunch of manga panels. Who knows? But Bandai has the rights to the manga and the intellectual property itself, so they can make original art. Naruto Mythos just has the anime, which they got from TV Tokyo. That's kind of how that whole deal shook out and how it all makes sense. And that's how there's able to be two different Naruto TCGs on the market at the same time. It's a lot similar to how in Universes, the Attack on Titan side is only the manga, because UVS Games only has the rights to the Attack on Titan manga. Like Bushiroad and Union and Bandai have the rights to the anime. And it might even be different. It might be Bushiroad has the rights to the Mappa anime, and Bandai has rights to the original anime. I don't know. But you can buy rights to different like portions of the IP, which is kind of neat. But that's how that happened. Does everything have to be competitive? I can just have fun. I can actually explain. I'll come back to that. That's a really good question. It can all be explained through the lens of Union Arena. Sounds like car companies that just slap different logo on it and sell different price tag. Exactly, it's the exact same thing. I always use Force Will as the instrument when I played Vanguard back in V early D. Dude, I love Force Will, especially early Force Will. Early Force Will was so peak. It was just unfortunately in the hands of a not super, I guess I could say competent company. They meant well. Like, Force Will Co. meant really well. They just made a lot of really bad decisions. Anything I care about? And might have been a pop in. I mean, I think Chrono Clash was also a flop. It just didn't. That game died instantly. No one played that. No one played it. Okay, let's talk about that. Does everything have to be competitive? Why can't we just have fun card games or collectible cards? The best example of this is Union Arena. When Union Arena initially launched, when it first came out, and there were 3 sets. There was the Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, and I'm blanking. No, it was just 2. It was just Bleach and Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, okay, I'm crazy. There's just Bleach and Hunter x Hunter. Then later on, you got Jujutsu Kaisen and Code Geass. but at the very start, just Bleach and Hunter x Hunter. This is a great example. Union Arena is a game that is meant to be played, at least at the start, right, was meant to be played 100% casually. You looked at the game, you found the IP you liked, you built the deck for it, and you had fun jamming games with your friends. And it was really fun. I liked the game a lot. It was a good time. It was the perfect example of a casual card game. You just pick your favorite anime, build the deck you want from that anime, and just jam games. It was great. It was really good. The problem comes in when people start trying to be competitive. And when people start trying to be competitive, they start to look for the best strategies, right? And they try to look at ways that they can, take advantage of the game's engine to do whatever the strongest thing possible is. And what ended up happening is people found out pretty quick that the best thing you can do in Union Arena, because of how the combat works, is if you can just be the first person to get 4Ks on board, you win the game just like due to math. So what would end up happening is the way Union Arena worked is a lot of your big 4K guys, what you would do is you'd have to level them up and place them on top of a smaller level 1 or level 0 base version, right? And that would give them access to their effects, and they'd do really cool, bombastic anime things. Now, you could just hard play them on their own, but if you don't do the raid, if you don't do the level up or the tribute summon or whatever, you don't get the effects. Well, turns out, you don't need the effects. The only thing we really need is the number on the cards. So, very quickly, the best deck in the format became the purple deck, where you would just play all of your big boss monsters as 4K vanillas. And you'd win the game all the time. Because if you can just be the first person to put a 4K on the board, right, you just win due to math. So what ends up happening is even if a game is meant to be casual, once at least one person attempts to be competitive and successfully breaks the game, well, now you're in a conundrum, right? When you go to locals, what do? Do you just give up and always take the L to this one person that's just not really playing the game the way it's meant to be played? They're playing all of their boss monsters as 4K vanillas. Do you accept to constantly lose to them, or do you try to adapt to the meta and, try to beat them? Some people would be content taking the loss, but not everybody. And as soon as one person decides, you know what, I'm going to try to beat this guy, I'm going to play what is strong, and they start playing the 4K vanilla beater deck, and now, there's a mirror match at finals every week at locals, but the rest of the people are playing casually, right? Slowly, people are going to get dissatisfied with losing every week, especially when Union Arena has cool winner cards on the line, especially when there's 4 different winner cards for top 4 and only one of them actually looks good. So now everyone is actually fighting for first. So the second that even a small amount of people decide to take the game competitively and build something strong, it kind of creates this snowball effect of everybody having to make this decision of, do I just accept the fact that I'm going to lose all the time to this strategy and play my fun deck, or do I try to hop on the wheel and compete with these people? Now, if you are playing the game at your kitchen table with your friends, you'll never encounter this issue. But the second you start taking the game a little more seriously and you're going to your locals every Friday and you're paying $5 to $10 to participate in this event, you kind of want to start winning. Once money's on the line, once you've paid to play, losing suddenly isn't so much fun anymore. So no matter how hard one individual might try, there can never be a truly casual card game as long as you are playing with a bunch of strangers and people you don't know, and you are going to a public store and paying money to play the game to compete for prizes. Some may find that unfortunate, but that just is what it is. Right? We had casual players for stars, they just stopped coming. Exactly. As soon as people, and some people might just do that, right? Instead of trying to even adapt and play the game differently, they'll just give up. They'll just be like, I'm sick of losing all the time. I just wanted to play the game casually, and I see that I now cannot do that. I'll just take my fun elsewhere. I'll go do something else that I enjoy. I'll go home and I'll just play a board game with my family, right? It's almost like the idea of trying to bring back Playground Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just not possible. It's like you can't do it because you cannot control the ideas and feelings and desires of other humans. Until you can figure out how to do that, you can't have a truly casual game. Even Beast of Kaimo form was more interactive. Yu-Gi-Oh! Or, dude, the early meta was so bad. Empire Youth, thank you for the super chat. That's like an Omega super chat, dog. Dang, you're the GOAT. I appreciate you. It's just people trying to be competitive and more people trying to figure out how to get better. Being competitive is all trying to be better and compete. I mean, sure, yeah, I think that's totally fair. I would say, like, you can say they're not like a sweat, right? Right, like they're not trying to be like sweaty. They're just trying, and like I'm not saying that being competitive is unreasonable, right? They're just trying to find the best way to win, right? A lot of people, you know, sometimes myself included, they find a lot of the fun in card games in optimizing them and trying to find the best way to accomplish a goal. And you can't blame them for that. That's just how they enjoy a TCG, and TCGs are kind of engineered to be enjoyed in that way. They're deck building games. You are meant to construct your deck and improve it and optimize it and make it better, right? That kind of is the whole selling point and gimmick of the system. So like you can't really be, so I think that's fair to say, right? You can't really be upset about someone for trying to be competitive, right? That's not their fault. You can't really yell at someone for being like, you're too sweaty at my game for fun. Like, in that situation, you're kind of the moron, right? So you can't yell at people for just trying to be better at the game or build a better deck. It's just kind of how it is, and that ties into why it is impossible to have a truly casual card game, because different people have fun in different ways. People enjoy games differently. You're never gonna have two people that enjoy a game exactly the same. There's always gonna be some nuance there. So really, it's on companies to, like, instead of trying to make these casual games, at least for America. Japan is a little bit different because the hobby's viewed a little bit different culturally. But, like, speaking America-wise, you know, America, we're really competitive. We're just not Americans. We'd be like that sometimes. It's more on a company to just design a fun, well-balanced, competitive environment and just let the casuals play what they will at their kitchen tables. The second you try to make a game, second you try to take a competitive scene and make it casual, you get games like Cardfight Vanguard, where a lot of it is analogous to just going to a casino and playing blackjack. But yeah, no, like I totally agree. And it just, you know, it depends on how you define competitive. Competitive is trying to get better to compete. And then it's how do you define competing, right? Are we talking about specifically like tournament grinders? But like I feel like there are competitive players at locals, for sure. I know I had some competitive players at my locals, and I'm like angry at them. It's just how the game worked. So I stopped playing. So I was like, I don't think this is fun. I want to play my cards and activate their effects. I don't really want to play a game where the best thing you can do is turn your own cards off. So I just stopped playing. I just didn't play because it wasn't fun. Spikes are part of the ecosystem, just like Timmy's and Johnny's are. Yeah, right. That's maintaining like Spikes, Timmy's, and Johnny's a very important ecosystem. You pretty much have to have all three. You don't have to be a TCG. You kind of have to have all three, or like you have to design for all three. I would say that's more of the thing. You have to kind of take care of all three of them. If you ignore one, your game is going to get really bad really fast. What if we cut them into two camps or formats? Anything goes via restricted meta. So that's also the other thing too, because like you're getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! Custom ban list territory, like the Yu-Gi-Oh! For fun formats. It is impossible to define what is casual and what is competitive, because like let's say we want to make a custom Yu-Gi-Oh! Format, and we're like, all right, play whatever deck you want, just nothing in tier 1 of the meta. Okay, well now instantly the best decks in the room are whatever in tier 2. And if you want to play a deck that's in tier 4, well now you're still going to complain about the decks in tier 2 because they're still stronger than yours. Even though we've banned all the tier 1 decks, it's still going to feel unfair because your deck is so many tiers below. And if you just keep going down the line doing that, eventually you will just ban every single deck in the game. And it's impossible to satisfy everybody. Things like that you can do if you restrict them to like you and a couple friends. That's super reasonable, but there is no way to practically apply that on a game-wide scale. That is completely impossible, unfortunately. But like you could do that as a fun format for like you and two friends. It's impossible to actually like manage on a game-wide scale. You managed to see the release for DeVito and Buddy Fight Spectral Strike effects? Yeah, I read them this morning. We'll talk about those. I think I'm gonna clump those into Tuesday. I don't have enough time today to do review. We have too much Naruto to talk about. So I'm gonna save the Buddy Fight stuff for Tuesday. For Tuesday review. We'll just double up. We'll double up review. They're neat. They're not. It's not as cool as Ruga's stuff, but it's like it's cute. Yeah. At least it wasn't broken game design. Yeah, for real. Locrano's going through this at the moment with the big boom. All the set champ tournaments and pushing out the casuals. They've been coming less regular days, right? Like, it's so hard. It's such a hard thing to manage, and it's not even a hard thing. It's impossible to like manage. You can't control it. The only thing you can do is make the competitive format as fun as possible. Someone just motivated from other competitors pricing for LGS to deliver feats. Yeah, right. Like we're competing for pricing. There's no way to make that not in some level competitive. I haven't seen Journey Patience about cardboard rectangles. I agree. Yep, yeah. Yeah, well, so let's talk about Naruto. Different TCG, I'm considering Riftbound because they're a Metal Leader system. I mean, that's always fun, right? If your goal is just to find a game where you are rewarded for playing pet decks, Riftbound's a great way to do it. Universes might do it too. Because, I mean, it's the same company, I would assume they do. I feel like I remember them doing that way back in the day with My Hero, where you could win pricing for being the best person on that character. So yeah, if that's your goal, I highly recommend it. I think those games are great for that. They're perfect. It was a good angle for making more casual games, as long as you... There's always going to be someone who goes and buys 9 booster boxes to try to rip the strongest deck that they can, and if they do manage to find that deck, there's nothing you can do about it besides attempting to open one that is the same level of strength. Keyforge is weird because it sounds like it solves the problem, but it actually makes it 10 times worse. I guess you could just ban them from using that deck, but like you can only do that like a for fun of locals thing, or do like a Hearthstone 3 deck format. But yeah, right. Like exactly. It's like I want to play a casual for fun Yu-Gi-Oh format. All right, what's your deck? Unity-O dramas, and it's like, how do we balance? You know what I mean? There's no way to balance that on like a wide scale. It's always Handtrap's fault. It's Naruto and see a pin. Day one, I'm just not interested. I mean, there's going to be a pain. Like that's one of the things is I keep seeing all these tweets on my every time Bandai reveals a new IP. It's always like, if they put X, if they revealed a Naruto game, if the Naruto game has insert my favorite Naruto character, parentheses, it's one of the most popular characters ever, close parentheses, then I'll play it. Congratulations, you're playing the game. That character's gonna be in the game. I don't know about day one. Hopefully not day one. That feels like a weird character to drop day one. But that will be in the game eventually. You can guarantee that. No, I haven't looked. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. We're not looking at Yu-Gi-Oh. Chess Archetype sounds really cool. If it's playable in Genesis, we'll look at it. But we're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh. No. Doing a TCG interconnectors to make the decisions no longer matter. Yeah, right. You have to do the Vanguard route of like. But even then, there's still people that play Vanguard competitively. You know what I mean? It's like it's an impossible. Someone will always try to find. Like, you can play rock paper scissors. There will always be at least one human on the planet that is going to try to play competitive rock paper scissors, no matter how stupid it sounds. They'll find a way. They'll be like, oh, I'm going to say the word rock right before we shoot. That way they're going to have rock in their brain, and they're going to think that that's what I'm throwing subconsciously. I'm going to trip them up, you know what I mean? Someone will always find some stupid way to be competitive about anything. So really the only way to make a TCG immune to competitiveness is to not play in a tournament, which is, tournament and competitive are words that should be synonymous with each other. But you should always... you should always just play with your friend group, right? Do whatever you want with your friend group. Is 100% playable in Genesis? Maybe I'll take a look. Exactly, yeah, competitive RPS exists. And that's why it's an example, because it exists, even though it makes no sense and is complete nonsense. There's nothing competitive about rock, paper, scissors, but yet it's competitive RPS still exists. So, like, there is no way to make anything completely, like, foolproof of being competitive. It is you have to do that yourself by just playing with a specific group of people that you know and trust. Mythos are put me off. Yeah, it's all anime screenshots. That's all I have the rights to. Just the anime screenshots. These will look nice. These should be One Piece quality. Because it should be a lot of original art. Some manga stuff in there, of course, but a lot of original art. Like, they should look pretty good. Yu-Gi-Oh! Surprising dying, and in my area, everyone played Yu-Gi-Oh! Now they're out for It's all One Piece's fault. It's all because of One Piece. Better than you doesn't even know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is anymore. Yeah, but we're not gonna make this Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's talk about the new Bandai game. Let's talk about Naruto. this was a really fun early discussion. I'm gonna make a YouTube video out of the Bandai thing. But now it's time to be sad about things, because it's Naruto time. It's Naruto time. Alright, here we go. So, for those that, you know, somehow you don't know, for some reason, you know, new Bandai game. Bandai, new card game. It's spoiled right here. They were teasing the new card game. They got us really hyped up, you know, and they were like, oh man, 3 days to go, 2 days to go, 1 day to go, you know? I didn't sleep super well last night, and then finally, they dropped a trailer. We're gonna go ahead and watch it together, gamers. Let's watch the trailer. Now, as soon... Dude, it wasn't the Dodgers. The Dodgers do One Piece. It was the Yankees. It was the New York Yankees. Of all people, which is so funny. Thanks, New York. The Dodgers always do One Piece collab. Dog, as soon as I heard the sandals running, I'm like, it's Naruto. It's Naruto. Even worse, exactly. As soon as I heard those freaking sandals. And then you get the little spoof, and you're like, ah, yeah, it's Naruto. It's Naruto. We are fighting dreamers, gonna pretend you're my dreamer. I mean, it's hype. It's hype. Don't get me wrong. But that's it. That's the reveal trailer. Yes, it is Naruto. That's all we got. You know, more information July 29th, which is like the day before the game gets demoed. So, you know. Okay. Yeah, I consider myself extremely whelmed, you know? A little bit of a disappointment. But you know what? Can you even be mad at them? Because even after, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we civilized folk are going to be like, with brains, are like, man, that really wasn't a lot of information. I hope the game doesn't suck, but I mean, it's cool to know that it's Naruto. And then you open on Twitter, and everyone and their mom is going, Naruto TCG, I have to sell my entire life savings for this game. Oh my gosh, IP I like, I'm playing the game. I'm playing the game day one. Where's my Minato card? If they put Minato, you know, and you get the tweets are like, dude, if they put Sasuke in the game, I'm playing it day one, dude. If they put Sasuke in the game, they can take all my money. Like, obviously Sasuke's gonna be in the game, dog. And like all of Twitter is like, Naruto game? Looks like I gotta spend all my money on it. And it's like, dude, we don't even know what it is. You don't even know if it's good. But like, and you know what? And like, this is what gets me. This is really what gets me. When we have stuff to talk about, Empire. We got stuff to talk about. There's always stuff to talk about. Okay. This is what always gets me, is that people like complain, right? They're like, oh man, you know, Bandai's bringing too many games. They're taking away stuff from my blah, 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 blah. Y'all don't deserve Bandai making good decisions, okay? When every time they go, hey guys, look, IP, and you go, oh my gosh, IP! I have to spend money on this IP, guys! I can't wait to spend money on this IP. Do you know how the game plays? No, I have no idea what the game is like, but it has my IP on it, I have to buy it. Like, what, guys, how am I supposed to take Bandai players seriously? How are we supposed to take the complaints of Bandai players how are we supposed to take the complaints of Bandai players seriously? When the second you just flash an IP on the screen, they go, I gotta buy it, it's my IP I like, yay! This game could be pooped from a butt, you have no idea, but you're like, I gotta spend all my money on it. Like, dude, it drives me crazy. It's so annoying. Like, actually top 10 pet peeves of all time. FR. Alright. We have a little bit of information. Just a little bit. We'll probably get pre-Shippuden cards. I imagine it's going to be like One Piece, where they just, like, pick and choose random stuff from all over the show. It's just going to be a random smattering of stuff. It's going to be a lot like One Piece. A lot like One Piece. But yeah, we have a little bit to talk about. 7th game, yeah, which honestly I think is fine. I think Bandai won't have a problem until they hit like 10 plus games, like straight up. As long as One Piece keeps making as much money as it does, like honestly, One Piece can probably fund the production of like 3 of these games. Like they're just the only way Bandai stops doing this is if one of the IP games genuinely flops as hard as Battle Spirit Saga. That's the only way they're ever going to rethink printing a bunch of IP games. Like, it's the only way. Because, like, why would they stop? when they can just go, hey, look, guys, we had Kishimoto draw some Naruto art. And everyone goes, oh my gosh, I'm spending $6 trillion on this game. Why would they not do that? Why would they stop, you know? So, like, until one actually flops, these aren't going anywhere. We're just going to keep getting more. Chakra system, I'll go into that. Jeff, so that's the scary thing about the Jeff tweet, is I did see that, and he's like, it took him, it was in R&D for like 2 years, which is apparently way more than than Bandai games normally are, which I believe that. But then he goes on to theorize what Chakra does, and I'm very concerned. It does not sound like it's some innovative, we spent 2 years making this kind of thing, you know? The Jeff Jones tweet, low-key worrying. Are most characters that are in Shippuden also in the original show? Can the character didn't cross over, even Zabuza in flashbacks? Yeah. But, like, the characters look different. And some characters are way cooler in the original show and then suck in Shippuden. Been only speedrunning the second TCG bubble crash. Like, maybe. I don't think it's a bubble it's gonna crash. Every time they literally just showed us an IP, and my entire timeline is random people going, "Oh, I'm selling my house for this game. I'm selling everything I own to play this." Like, I don't think the bubble's crashing anytime soon. I think it's only going up. The only way like the bubble crashes is sadly if they make too many original IP games, because those are games that actually have to thrive off the merit of their gameplay, and if they can't, they'll die. That's actually what's gonna pop the bubble. As sad as that is, it's just true. Okay, when they make a deck with the weird Naruto game for the Wii, one with the dragon swords. The old Naruto game had the Ninja Storm stuff, but none of like the crazy things. Money grab. That's the thing. Like, calling these money grab is so weird because, like, well, obviously they're gonna print a thing that's going to be profitable. They're not just gonna throw money in a dumpster. Like I understand. Like, companies are dumb. Like CEOs and like boards of directors are really stupid. They're out of touch, but they're not completely incompetent. They're not that incompetent to just be like, kids really like Caillou. I've been seeing a lot of memes about Caillou. We should make a Caillou card game. Like, they're not that stupid. So like money grabs a little much, but like products that will be successful and profitable, absolutely. People are gonna love people love Naruto. They're gonna love the Naruto game. Just the power of IP service. People already spend money on the portrait. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, the IP gets them so far. Like, there's no reason for them to stop doing it, right? When the IP carries them this much. Oh, the only thing that'll stop them is when they run out of IPs, which will happen. That's a finite resource, but it's a big resource. So, like, the second game is run out of IPs, that's when they'll die. But, like, we're gonna get a Bleach TCG before that happens. Kick the thing out of the player. TCG, the favorite IP is in there. Mostly play Bandai games, don't play any other games outside of right. And also, like, a lot of the Bandai players, they just play all the Bandai games. They just rotate through all of them, right? Like, find your average Bandai player. I guarantee you they play at least 2, if not 3. They're all One Piece players that then play like Gundam for fun, and then maybe they like came from Dragon Ball or like from Digimon, right? Like, they all play all the games. Had my friend go on in BSS and seeing it burn so hard is heartbreak. Dude, that one's so sad because, like, not to be like, I'm not saying that people are dumb, but that's a sad one because, I mean, honestly, like, as soon as that PV dropped, that game was dead on arrival. Or at least anyone who was intimately familiar with Japanese battle spirits knew that game was flopping as soon as the trailer got launched because they sucked everything cool about the game out of it. And they reduced it back to what it was and how it failed in 2007, and that was just by being a Magic clone with a cool resource system. Sorry, as you saw, you know, if you go back in time, that's not enough to make your game popular. It certainly wasn't enough 20 years later. So that's one that's like, the failure of BSS is very impressive. That is one where I'm like, I know I say CEOs and executives are not completely incompetent. BSS is a very close one. That one almost gets it over the line of like, okay, maybe these guys are just genuinely dumb. But I think what it actually was is a Japanese guy was like, what do Americans like? They like Magic the Gathering and money. Let's make Battle Spirit Saga just that. Turns out people just play Magic instead. Shocker, I know. He's something about yeah. He's like, they might. That's the other thing too of like, it's a very Japanese thing to be like, hey guys, we're putting a lot of time and research into this game. It's going to be different than other Bandai games. It's going to have instant speed effects. You know? Like, that's what they use to sell Battle Spirits. It still is like, this is gonna be this, like, the Jeff Jones tweet just sounds like Bandai.game. Even if Bandai sells TCG cash, doing it in such a way that only Bandai and other heavy games survive. True, and they'll probably be fine. Like, let's say the TCG bubble bursts, One Piece is probably okay. One Piece is probably going to survive that. Like, Bandai, they have no reason to really care about that. Kiba was so goated, and then time skip happens, and he's just gone. He just vanishes. But dude, Kiba was so cool. Kishimoto original art would be insane. I mean, more like is gonna be insane. I guarantee we're getting Kishimoto original art. He drew a thing for the thing. We're definitely getting at least something. Yeah, he got beat by Naruto farting. Sometimes, you know, good stories. Hey man, in a good story, you gotta take some L's in the beginning so you have something to come back from and redeem yourself later. You know, he got beat by farting, man. That's true, but he came back. And he helped attempt to rescue Sasuke. And that fight was awesome. Kiba's the GOAT. Don't talk crap on Kiba. Choose players of band. I stuff. Yeah, a lot of XYZ players. I guarantee, yeah, 6 colors. What are the odds? Is it gonna be 6 colors? I'd be flabbergasted if it's not. Yeah. There are always games like, I don't think I don't know Jeff Jones personally, so I can't comment on that statement. Only play Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I have the Digimon and Dragon Ball players are much more likely to only play their games. The One Piece players are the type that play everything. And Gundam's too new to even, like, call them Gundam players, really. It's mostly the One Piece players that play everything. Wait, isn't there currently an RTCG out? There is! It's called Naruto Mythos. It's like, okay, it's probably gonna die because of this game. But yeah, there is another Naruto TCG. It's called Naruto Mythos. Go check it out in like the 6 months you have before this game comes out and blows it up. Super Master stole Lich Immortality from Force of Will. It's one of, yeah, Dragon Ball Masters. It's hit that bar of like it's been around for 10 years. It's good. It's locked. It's not going anywhere. You know. Boruto Kiba is even more. I don't even remember Boruto Kiba. I'm not gonna lie. I straight up don't even remember if he's in that or not. Sorcery, yeah. Kiba versus the twins. Dude, it's such a good fight. It's such a good fight. No Hand Water. Oh. I think that deck is still good. If you play in the like the Great Ninja like Discord tournaments, No Hand Water I think is like still meta. If I remember correctly. Hope it does not happen to Gundam, although I don't like the gamer franchise. Yeah, Gundam is fine. Gundam will survive. Gundam is such a huge IP. It'll be fine. Mythos will die. Yeah, I think Mythos is gone. They might have to do the Weiss thing of, like, not make it Naruto Mythos and just make it the Mythos card game and put in a bunch of other IPs. That might be, like, their play to keep it going. They just have to change some rules so that not every deck uses Chakra, basically, yeah. I think it's, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I've seen a deck profile for it on YouTube from like a couple months ago. I'm pretty sure it's still relevant. It's like 2 cameos and does nothing. Bro, that sucks. Tented never got any more lame and she... Yeah, it is unfortunate. So, well, Darkstalkers, go play old universes. I think Darkstalkers is an old UVS. We can get 7. I could see 7 colors. Digimon has 7 colors. We can get the 7 Digimon colors if they do the 7 Chakra Natures. I could see it. Alright, chat, let's talk about what we have so far, because we actually do have a bit of information, but it's a very big piece of disappointing information. Every legacy character only gets 2 lines, does nothing unless they've kissed Naruto. Yikers! You're unfortunately right. There's some Gen Con stuff. So the game is going to be demoed at Gen Con at the end of July. So we will know how the game plays in a little over a month. So that's kind of nice. We can determine if it's booty butt or not pretty shortly. But let's head over to the website. We do have one little tidbit of information. Someone in chat mentioned it earlier. We're going to talk about it now. So, Digimon is 6 colors, yellow is just a special. Okay. You can go demo Naruto at Gen Con in 2026. And if you demo it, you get this special promo Chakra card. So, Let's talk about the chakra card. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. I'm gonna use the search bar on Twitter, which I know is dangerous, so I'm not gonna put that up. I just want to see if I can find like a closer image. I should be able to find a more zoomed in image. Yeah. Oh, it's the Jeff Jones tweet. We're not gonna read the Jeff Jones tweet because it's dumb. Not dumb, but it's like a little concerning. We're not gonna go into the Jeff Jones tweet. We're just gonna look at the thing. Okay. So, the chakra card. Well, a lot of people, yeah, I know, right? Place your bets on, oh, yellow is meant to be white. Okay, I thought you were making some, like, weird joke. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, white's the, like, not really, like, actually a color. It's, like, the weird sideshow thing. It's like calling, gray a color in Magic. Like, I guess, but no, not really. Okay, so here's the thing, right? A lot of people, obviously, like, this, look, straight up, off the bat, it looks like Dawn, right? Looks like Dawn. Right? So that's already concerning. I'd love a game that doesn't use mana. As much as Bandai loves using mana, it'd be really nice to see a game that doesn't use mana for once. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, I guess. There's one bit of information that can give us a slight clue. At the bottom of the chakra card, it says, when using chakra, turn this card face down. Now, this could allude to literally anything, right? The Jeff Jones theory is that it's going to function sort of maybe like Counterblast in Vanguard, and then the chakra are going to be like magic pips. So like a card will cost 2 in a chakra, you'll tap 2 chakra cards, and then turn one of your chakra face over as a limited resource. I think the only situation in which that exists is either A, if you have actual countercharge effects, or B, they steal recycling from Riftbound, and you can take your flipped chakra cards, recycle them back into the chakra deck, and then flip them back over when you do like when you charge your chakra at the beginning of the main phase. Right? I think that's the only way that makes sense. He uses White Stock. I mean, yeah, freaking both Buddy Fight and We Cross died in America. So, unfortunately, White Stock, not doing great. The White Stock resource, not doing very good. You ever played Fire Emblem Cypher? Yeah. Oh, I forget the rules. I looked him up a long time ago, and I low-key forget the rules. But yeah, right? I think it might be a Cypher-like thing. But instead of having, like, your any card of resource, it's freaking Dawn cards. I just really despise the Bandai generic resource. What did I miss? My internet bugged? We're just looking at the Chakra card. We're looking at the only thing they've showed off for Naruto so far, and it's a Chakra card. I'm just theorizing what it could be. Dude, so I've heard Cypher is very good. I've heard Trails was not very good. So I just, I'm really sick and tired of Bandai and their stupid generic resources. But granted, why should they not do it again? If it's worked 5 times, why won't it work a 7th, But chat. You like the Riftbound system? I don't like the Riftbound system because I think it is one of those systems that is A, adds no real depth to the game, and B, is too easy to be made irrelevant. I think the actual in Magic, lands are cool because there is skill expression and deck building in how you distribute your lands in order to try to prevent variance, right? That doesn't exist in Riftbound because of the leaders. So you just skew your runes to whatever you have more power in, and now granted, there's actual Magic designers working on the game right now, which is good, so this probably won't happen, but if the designers were incompetent, I could easily see a world where decks just only play power of one color, and they just use the other color as a splash color. And it just makes the entire system completely inconsequential. I mean, I think, the whole... you get 2 a turn, which, makes a lot of the math weird. Recycling is kind of, whatever. It's, one of those things, I think it's cute on paper, but in practice, I don't think it's actually all that special. I mean, interaction would be cool. To be fair to Dawn, it's decent levels of utility. Utility is a very strong word. I think that's a really big word that I would not use to describe Dawn. It's just worse core. It's dumbed down like Fisher Price core from Battle Spirits in a game system that I don't even think it should belong in, because any game that uses Vanguard, guarding, and mana from Magic, being able to just pump numbers indiscriminately, I think is really problematic and not very interesting. But yeah, I'd love to see more TCGs do no mana. Like, you can still do costs. I'm just sick of this stupid generic resource deck. And it's just been getting worse and worse. It has culminated into Gundam, where it is just a pile of blank, like, sticky notes that you just put on the table. I hate it. I really don't like it. I hate generic resources, however, this has two methods of playing, being flip face down and tapping, and I think it's better than the other Bandai mana system. But like, are we gonna settle for that? Are we really, you know what, chat, here's the thing, right? Are we really gonna settle for that? Are we really gonna settle for this lack of quality of like, well, I hate generics, but like, this one does a thing. This one has a game action associated with it. That's pretty cool. You know, I feel like that's bare minimum. If you asked me this 5 years ago and I was like, hey, I want to make a system that uses all generic resources, I'd tell you they better do something really special, right? And not just be blank pieces of cardboard. You know what I mean? Like, that's like bare minimum. So like yeah, it's cool that it flips face down, but I'd hope it does a lot. I feel like that's like less than the bare minimum. I feel pain if it's forceful mana rocks with flip limited resources or big effects. I doubt it. I don't think it's gonna be that. I mean, the only way it's gonna be like force of will stones, but you flip them for cost, is if there's a way to recycle them. Either a way to countercharge, or they steal the Runeterra recycle systems. That way you can cycle them back face up and keep spending them. Because there's no way you're paying a finite pip cost in a Magic clone. Like, that's not happening. I don't like the lack of mana in a game, but I would be down for something close to Zen and Zara, a funkier version of DM stuff. I think that's fine. I'd be okay with that. I'm sick of these just blank. I'm sick of Dawn specifically. I'm sick of Dawn, the Gundam resources. Any game that plays any kind of resource, but you've put it face down, like Cyberpunk, Lorcana, and Star Wars. I'm sick of that. That's stupid and dumb. Like, if you're gonna do it like Battle Spirits, or do it like Dragon Ball, except you can actually have multiple colors in your deck, right? Give there an opportunity cost to putting, like, allow people to play as many colors as they want in their deck, but there is an opportunity cost in their resource spread, and the more colors they try to play, the more inconsistent their deck will be. Like, do that. That has worked since the dawn of time. Well, I don't know why we keep getting rid of that part of resources, because you need that part of resources, and when you get rid of that in the resources, you have to go put it somewhere else. And 9 times out of 10, that somewhere else is really boring. Like, Bandai likes to put it on the leader card, and they just say, you can play whatever color your leader is. Like, that sucks. It's dumb and lame. People are convinced the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is no mana, 25 years of Clown World anime, first design philosophy. Yeah, like, the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't no mana. The problem is that there's no rotation. Straight up. Yu-Gi-Oh's no rotation. The lack of mana doesn't help it, right? Because it has no way, like, the way in which you power balance cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is different because cards don't have costs. So you have to, like, make up costs. But then in order to print more powerful cards, you just give them less cost. And then you just keep going less and less cost, and you're just in this infinite cycle of, like, cards getting stronger and stronger, right? So mana is a good, like, mana is great, like, almost like training wheels, or, like, guards on the gutter in the bowling alley. Like, it really helps you keep you in line, because you can cost things according to their power level. And you can keep cards of similar cost all doing similar power levels of things. When you have no cost, you have a little bit too much freedom, and you have more opportunities to screw up. But I think you can totally do it. And like, I think every game should have some kind of resource system. I'm just tired of mana and like the generic mana, like Hearthstone mana and paper. It's not a good idea. People convince the problem. Okay, yeah, I read that one. Chrono Chess system is the best one they have made, other than Chorus. Chrono Clash is cool if the game didn't suck and was actually not a flop. Hope this is a cost to play. Spells and units completely different. It feels more like gay. Okay, we're just inventing things. But IP card game. That's true. I should just play because apparently I love Naruto, dog. I love Naruto. I just gotta play the IP. You can teach you cause without mana system, but people don't like that. Why? Maybe. A lot of people do it wrong. Like a good example is like Vanguard. Like you have to make the game operate. You can't just be a magic clone with no mana, obviously. But you can do games like Wii Cross, Buddy Fight, Vanguard, White Schwartz. Flesh and Blood has like costs, but it's not really mana. Like you go about generating it in a completely different way, which is more impactful. Universes, different system. I guess no, and Universes counts. It's different than mana. There's a bunch of ways to do it, and it's not just no costs at all, right? Yu-Gi-Oh is no resource. It's a little bit different, but it does look like Dawn, and that's concerning. Also true. People love to invent a version of Yu-Gi-Oh that never actually existed. Consume but plentiful. I think chakra should be consumed but plentiful. That's like I want to have my cake and eat it too. It's the antithesis of that. You want it to be consumed but be plentiful? I mean, I guess, dog. I wish I had infinite mana and magic as well. But I see what you're saying. Like it shouldn't be a finite resource, like kind of counterblast on a magic clone. Mana's more for the devs than players. True. Mana's also like the other thing too is not specifically mana, but like having cards be caught. Like I guess actually specifically mana. Mana's really helpful for newer players too because it tells you how to play your cards. A lot of times, like if you give someone a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, they're not gonna know what to do because they can play any card and they get choice paralysis. But you teach someone Magic and you go, all right, it's turn 2. You have 2 lands. Do you have any 2-drops in your hand? And they go, yeah, I have 1. And you go, okay, cool. Play that card. Right? You can kind of play the game on rails that way. So it is beneficial for players. Just copy Buddy Fight resources. Give it the cultivation of Chakra. Well, we can talk about what Naruto should be in 2 seconds. Top lack rotation argue another major problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Funny enough, how inconsistent interaction is for how fast the game is. I mean, I guess. But, like, I'm saying that the problem is rotation is that they have no way to rebalance the game. Once one card breaks an aspect of the game, everything else has to follow suit. So they're in a constant upward spiral of power creep that is never ending. They have no way to reset the floor of the game. They can only keep going forward. That's how like the game spirals into being a different game than its original inception. Also, it doesn't help that the game originated as just a made-up magic clone for the sake of telling a story in a manga, and then people said, wait, you need to make this an actual game, so they had to like reverse engineer it. Like that also made it not a good starting point. I mean, it would be so nice if they announced rotation. I don't think they're going to, but it would be great. Probably be connected to life like Elestrals. Okay, so colored mana or flavorless mana. I mean, I prefer colored mana. The Enter's awesome. Bandai feels like fast food. I mean, yeah, Bandai feels like fast food in the sense of, like, you can go to Wendy's, McDonald's, or Burger King. Like, yeah, sure, you can choose, but, like, you're still getting a hamburger. It's just, like, your preferred flavor of hamburger. Character cinema produced Chakra. Okay, we're just theorizing stuff. Remember when Gen 1 Bakugan cards introduced power level? I mean, yeah, right? As soon as you print a 600G Bakugan, well, now that's the strongest one. The only way to make a better Bakugan is make it 650. So you're just stuck going up. Both character cards use Chakra for their effects. And effects cards use Chakra to go off to, so the player has to decide. Sure. Maybe. Generate Chakra, you can go into action. Yeah, really, they didn't show us anything. I don't like 2,000 life points. What? No, I'm saying that, like, no, not even, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. I mean, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero. Like, when it was just, Monsters and Magic, or whatever they called it. He just wanted it. It was a Magic clone because he wanted the characters to play Magic the Gathering, but they can't do that. So he just made up a fake version for the sake of, like, copyright. And then it got really popular, and they're like, hey, you should just make the whole manga Magic and Monsters. And he said, okay, I'll just make dual monsters. And then he started writing the manga, and they said, hey, we should actually make this a real game with rules. And he went, oh, okay. And then we got Yu-Gi-Oh! So, like, it started off as in a bad spot. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was never actually meant to be Yu-Gi-Oh! In its inception. It just kind of got developed into that. So that already, like that introduced it with a bunch of pre-existing problems that were going to plague it for the rest of its life. Remember MBT tried to do a rotation format, and every single time it was tier 0? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the hard thing, is, like, you can't really do, like, I get the theory. The theory was sound, but, like, you cannot, like, invent a format with pre-existing cards. It's not going to work. And also, there's always going to be a best thing. Like, no matter what you do, there will always just be a best thing. And that's why you need a team of testers, right? It's like MBT and 4 guys in Discord cannot test an entire format as well as an entire Discord community can. They're going to find the broken things well before these 5 people are. So when the entire, like, example of the format was just the format as it would be in R&D, yeah, it's gonna look bad, because that's what a game looks like in R&D. So, I mean, it was kind of a Doom project from the start, if we're being real. But I liked the theory. The theory was sound. But yeah, the Bandai Yu game is also just warred with monsters instead of numbers and suits. Yeah, they just wanted to print things that looked like the thing from the book. Based on D&D as well, which is why there's so many parallels with the manga cards. Yeah, right. Like, he just wanted them playing some wizardy game. That was the game of the week. This was just wizard card game. They went, you should make this real. And they were like, and he was like, okay, I guess. Technically, Yu-Gi-Oh! We have is in season 2. That's when the event starts. With all the band knowledge together. Yeah. Yeah, that's season 2 of Zero. That's when they said, hey, you should make them only play the card game. We went, okay. And then Battle City happened, and they're like, actually, maybe you should put, like, real rules to this game so we can print and sell it. And we went, oh, all right. They had 2,000 life in Yu-Gi-Oh's... Oh, okay. What? Are you asking me if Yu-Gi-Oh! Should have 2,000 life? I mean, in which case, no. You can get almost one shot by Login. Like, I feel like we shouldn't have to talk about why Yu-Gi-Oh! Shouldn't have 2,000 life points. MT's idea, the problem with him assuming Salamander was perfectly fine based on... Yeah, right, that was a weird one, to choose Salad as the Link archetype of, like, yeah, the deck's, like, always going to be good. But, like, also, I don't play enough Yu-Gi-Oh! To really argue against that. I can only talk from, like, my, future YouTube watching vision of being, like, well, I've seen that Salamangreat was tier 0, so I'm going to complain that you should have already known that, like, I mean, right, I'm not going to complain that you should have already known Salamanger was tier 0. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Enough to do that, but it is one of those moments of, like, yeah, this deck's kind of just always going to be good. I don't know. But, like, again, I don't play enough Yu-Gi-Oh! To, like, really comment on that. I do think that the idea was sound. The deck choices, obviously, not as much, but that's, like, hindsight thinking. And the issues with MBT rotation from was the Link. Dude, I hate Link. Yeah, no, I think Link is just kind of a really bad mechanic that ruins a lot of things. Dude, yeah, you just get one tapped by Gustav, man. You know, it'd be bad. No, Link, it's not even that Links are harder to balance than Pendulums. They're impossible to balance. You can't do it. It's not possible to, like, balance Links. You straight up can't do it. They're too broken. It's too powerful of a mechanic, like, fundamentally. All right, chat. Do you want to know my crackpot copium theory? I think that's how it started. I know that's how, yeah, okay. I understand that. I know they had 2,000 life points in the manga. Cool. Chat, do you want to know my crackpot Naruto theory? I'm huffing major copium. In MBT defense, Salad brand. No, Salad isn't a controversial archetype, but it is a consistently solid archetype. So, like, in a format where you are, like, is there even a good analogy? I think the best way is Salad is too consistently solid to exist in a format like that. That's supposed to be, like, down powered. And, like in a format that's supposed to be, like, down-powered, and you're supposed to play weird, wacky tech engines. Like, I know people are theorizing a bunch of decks that weren't actually, like, the archetypes in the set, right? Like, that was the idea. Salad is going to be a deck that's always, like, well, I'll just play Salad, and it's going to be good, right? It's, like, it's too consistently solid. It's like if I tried to make, like, a modern, like, a good example, like, a modern version is if I made a bunch of, like, bad archetypes in the set, and then one of the sets was Sword Soul. How do you balance Sword Soul? Like, Sword Soul is just consistently strong. You'd have to balance the entire format around that. It's not something you can, like, really throw in. So if everything isn't built around the power level of Sword Soul is just always going to be at the power level that it is at. But yeah. A shallow game in the past, more. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It started off as not even a real game. That's why. Because it started as not even a real game. They said, hey, we should turn this into a real game. And then from there, it became a thing. Yeah, Link ones are a disaster. No way to include links into a safe ecosystem is exclusively limit ones that require specific art types. Even then, it's still not good. Even you have to make them like old, bad 2005 fusion monsters where they need exactly this name and this name. But even then, it's like, okay, you're just contact fusing at that point. Like it's kind of fundamentally unsolvable. Chaotic ? No, maybe, probably not, but maybe. I gotta get through this first. I went from Naruto to Yu-Gi-Oh. It's the chat, man. The chat gets me on the tirades. Got me talking about anytime. It's not even Yu-Gi-Oh. It's someone brought up rotation. I love talking about rotation, and then it was rotation in Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, I had to yap about it. Okay, chat. Do you guys want to know my crackpot Naruto theory for the Naruto TCG? This is pure unadulterated copium. I do not endorse this idea in any way, shape, or form. This is just me being so depressed and sad and mad at Bandai that I'm just willing this into existence. Dude, I wish I had a Baja Blast. I should have. I don't think I got Taco Bell at all this week, actually. I kind of whiffed that. Oh, well. All right, chat. In my heart of hearts, hope, and I know that this card is not presented in the way that it should be if this is the case. But as we know, chat, in the old Naruto TCG, right? We're familiar. Let me actually pull up the tab. In the old Naruto TCG, we know that all of the characters, all of the cards, right? Not even just all of the characters. Why am I over here? Not even just all of the characters, but all of the cards generate chakra, right? All of your dudes make chakra. Is my mouse here? Yeah. All of your dudes make chakra. All of your missions make chakra. And once you play them, instead of going to the graveyard, they go to the chakra area, and then you spend this chakra on casting the jutsus, and the jutsus cost the chakra, all right? All right? Follow me here. What if... Now, this isn't real, but I wish it was. What if the chakra card is just like the coin from Magic? Or from Magic. What if it's just the coin from Hearthstone? Or the energy marker from Dragon Ball? And the chakra card is just a thing you get if you go second. You get the chakra card. And then when you use the chakra, when you're paying chakra, you just turn this face down, and it pays for one of any chakra. Now, granted, it is not formatted to do that at all. This is pure copium. It is not formatted like that at all. But I need this game to be the revival of the old Naruto CCG so bad that I'm just going to believe whatever I make up. I need it to be the old game. So I'm just going to make up that this is the coin. Friends are disappointed that most likely this new turn. Right, I need it to be like the OG one. The OG game is so good, dude. The OG card was so good. Their singing mechanic was cool with type ranks. Right, and it's like, I love the idea of you don't just cast the spells. You need to have a dude on your board that can cast the spell. And it's actually the creature on the board casting the spell. I think that's such a cool idea. I'm not playing Primal. That game looks like poop. And no one plays it. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll check it out. But when I did check it out like 3 years ago, that game looked really, really bad. But maybe it got better. I don't know. Like... It's just not the old, but it needs to be the old game. It needs to be the old game because A, the old game is one of the greatest games ever made. B, if it's not the old game, then that means we know it's just going to be One Piece 2. And I can't handle One Piece 2. I mean, if we find out the game is just One Piece 2, It's not a revival of the old game. I'm completely and utterly burning the bridge with Bandai for the rest of my life. I will never touch a Bandai TCG ever again. Like, I will become the biggest public Bandai hater of all time. Not if, but when we find out that this is just One Piece 2. Maybe it'll surprise me and the game's awesome. This is not a strong start. This is not a strong start whatsoever. This is very concerning. But maybe the game will shock me. I highly doubt it, though. I think in order for me to really enjoy a Bandai game, it needs to be exactly a revival of the Naruto CCG. I cannot handle Naruto the Bandai game. I'd crash out. Not even MTG. You should be like, MTG, no, for real. Honestly, for real. One Piece 2, bro. This is One Piece 3. Gundam, I've said this about Gundam in the past, and I'll say it again. I give them a soft pass on Gundam. Because I believe Gundam is supposed to be Bandai the card game. Gundam is Bandai's baby. That's their own IP, and it's their flagship IP. So I think if any game was going to be Bandai.game, it should be Gundam. Because that is their IP. It should be all the Bandai TCGs like distilled into primordial slime. I think honestly that is thematic for the game. Is that the Bandai IP game is just capital T, the Bandai game. So I think that is fair. I give Gundam like the slight pass of like One Piece has no excuse for being the game that it is. None of the things make sense. Nothing about the game is flavorful with One Piece the series. Why does my leader card Luffy and I have a Luffy unit card? What the heck is Dawn? Why is that my resource? Why is guarding integral? Why is like the or blocking or combo or whatever integral to the gameplay? Like none of it has anything to do with the IP. It is just Bandai game with One Piece skin on it. That's what I hate about that game. There's nothing thematic in the gameplay like whatsoever. But Gundam, that's Bandai's IP. They get to make it Bandai the card game. I think they can have that one. But if Naruto is also Bandai the game, that's criminal. That's criminal. That's insane. This is like Buddy Fight to the Vanguard. Buddy Fight's like a good game though. Don't diss Buddy Fight like that. I'm so decided for Gundam until they revealed the rules. Yeah, it's just Bandai that game, right? Somehow made XYZ monsters and Unity monsters boring. Yeah. Do you not want the timeline where Gundam is another Bandai leader game? Yeah, no, that'd be disastrous. It's another One Piece CCG, just play One Piece. I mean, I respect that. If anything, like this one, this has to flop. We gotta let this flop, dog. We gotta let this flop. I just hate that Bandai thinks since One Piece sold really well, so let's just do it again with one. I think they can, and that's the worst part is like they're not wrong. They're not incorrect for that. Like, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. That's the worst part, dude. If we have Naruto leaders, I'm gonna crash out. I will lose my mind if they reveal the Naruto leader card. I'll lose it for real. Mechanics being so similar, you can just play with the One Piece cards. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Buddy Fight. Don't talk smack about Buddy Fight. That's the best Bushiroad game. That is capital T, the best Bushiroad game. And there's like no argument. That is the greatest Bushiroad game. Hands down. Buddy Fight is incredible. Oh, I love Buddy Fight so much. Oh. Not a unit. That would tell us too much about if the game sucks. So we're going to have to wait till July to find out about the game. There is one other piece of information, though. That, again, is low-key bad news bears. Dragonborn's fine. It's not the best. The best is crazy. I would not call it the best. Okay. Oh, yeah, this site posted booster boxes, apparently. I don't know. This is probably fake. There is one other thing that got revealed, chat. Can you tell me what it is? I think someone said it a while ago. But we do have one more piece of information regarding the game, and it is in this image. I'm sure you all have noticed it by now. But if it's only issues that apparently they were spending truckloads of cash and nobody knew until they died. Yeah, basically. Yes, exactly. You got it, Major Milk. There are two different colored card backs. So, either it's the worst case scenario and this is the main deck, and this is the Chakra deck, and this is just on, and I want to die, right? I believe Jeff Jones was a consultant for the new Nitro game. Eddie mentioned mechanically unique. So maybe we'll go into the Jeff Jones tweet, because he's a little vague, and it makes me think he's not a consultant, or he was like some kind of consultant. Like, he knew about it. He says he knows about it, and that's it. But then goes on to like theorize what Chakra does. So I don't think he knows the rules. I think he's just only heard whispers. We'll talk. We'll read the Jeff Jones tweet for funsies. Leader called Kogai be crazy. I'll talk about Power World later. I have other stuff about that. It's not going to be asymmetrical like Netrunner. It's not going to happen. A Taijutsu deck, bro. Yeah, Jeff Jones is the Yu-Gi-Oh guy. I think Jeff played Yu-Gi-Oh. Not Jeff Jones, old man Mystic Mind guy. Other Jeff Jones. But other, like, pro Yu-Gi-Oh player. They're both just in sleeves? Possibly. Possibly they could both be in sleeves. My crackpot theory, to coincide with the Chakra card just being a coin, is that the old Naruto game had extra decks. So old Naruto we're pretty familiar with, right? Round about the time of, I think this is set 5, Dream Legacy, they introduced a new kind of ninja. Let me find one, called a platoon. Platoons are basically like this game's version of tribute summons. They'd have 2 ninjas on them, and as long as one of these ninjas was on your board, you could sack one of them and then play this in its place. But it did not eat up your normal summon. So these are basically tributes, but they require one of these ninjas to be on the board, but they don't eat your normal. So that was the first, like, that was one of the first indicative things. Leader cards confirm One Piece. Well, One Piece leaders actually have a different background than the Dawn and the main deck. So I would I think it's much more likely that it's a Chakra deck and not the leader card back. So they're basically tributes, but they had specific material. It was you had either sack a Naruto or a Jiraiya, and you would tribute summon this, but it wouldn't eat your normal. All right, that was like the first ninja type that they introduced. And then later on, once they hit the Shippuden era, I believe it is this set. Yes. Once they hit the Shippuden era, they did a little rework of the card frame. They made the cards look a little different. They now have like this gold border. The hand cost is different. The Chakra symbols got updated. They gave the game a bit of a facelift with the Shippuden update. Basically Raid and Union Arena. Yes, you just want to keep the material under it. Basically Raid. That's pretty good. And then they gave it a facelift, and then a couple sets into the Shippuden era, they released a new card type called Squads. And Squads were an extra deck mechanic. So Platoons were just tribute summons in the main deck. Squads were an extra deck mechanic. And you'd have an extra deck where you'd put your squads in. Like Link monsters, it's tribute summons via material. I wouldn't call them links. Squads were all contact fusion monsters. So if you had a Neji Hyuga and a Hinata Hyuga on your board, you could sacrifice both to summon the squad from your little extra deck. Yeah, they're basically contact fusions. 3 leaders in classic Naruto form? No, I don't want any leaders. Give me no leaders. Yeah, let's steal Cyberpunk's gimmick. I'm good. No leaders. You could contact fuse. And this introduced Naruto's extra deck. And then later on, there's another set called Will of Fire. Whoops, that's not my OBS. Where is that? There we go. Then later on, there was another set called Will of Fire, and this introduced the last and second extra deck card type, these red bordered cards called Reinforcements. These were basically ritual monsters. You couldn't just throw these on the board. You would need to play a card that would say, play this guy from your reinforcement deck. So Heat on Curse mode, in order to put Heat on Curse mode on the board, you would have to play a certain mission card. It was this one. You'd have to play Ritual. which just says you can move your Hedon to your, if you have a Hedon on board, you bounce it to your hand, and then you put a Hedon Curse Mode Ninja card from your Reinforcement deck into play. So they're basically like rituals, but you wouldn't need to tribute anything. Curse Mode needed a tribute, but yeah. And then these were the two, whoops, my bad, wrong button. And then these were the two extra deck types. What if it's still a reboot of the old Naruto CCG, and this is just the main and the extra deck? Wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be sick, man? Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be kind of neat? Was it just Mash Change? I mean, it was Mash Change, but it was more of like a ritual spell because it popped one specific guy to make one specific guy. So I guess, like, kind of, but, like, it's much more analogous to a ritual spell. But if your rituals were in your extra deck. But what if that's the extra deck? Guys, we gotta cope. That's all we have left, guys. All we have left is cope, man. All we have left is cope. Chaotic fans already took up this deck. No, it would be perfectly split. It'd be perfectly split because Chaotic would be the game that, like, you go play when if you're nostalgic for Chaotic. And then the Naruto CCG, you know, you can be nostalgic for the Naruto CCG, but then also it gets all the new Naruto fans to play the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, cross-intersection with each other. It's like Naruto fans over here, old school Chaotic fans over here, and they're such different games. They're not kind of, like, really, you know what I mean? Like, they can exist simultaneously. They can exist simultaneously. I just, oh, man. I want the old Naruto card game back so bad, guys. You don't understand. I need it back. It was so good. And the fact that we're losing potentially one of the best card games ever to Bandai slop to One Piece, you know what I mean? It's not even the sadness that Naruto CCG isn't coming back, but it's the fact that instead of it, in its place, it's One Piece 2. It's the worst thing that could have happened to me. Honestly, this is my 9/11, guys. This is the worst thing that could have possibly happened to me. Is, you know, this phenomenal card game you've been wanting to come back for decades? Guess what? It's not that, it's One Piece 2. I'm gonna lose it. Maybe we do look at Primal to make myself feel better. Yeah, it's dawn. It's just dawn. Don't go there, man. You'll get burned. I'm already burnt. This is the only thing keeping me from you know what I mean? I already have like 2-degree burns. This is the only thing keeping me from 3rd-degree burns, man. This is all I got left. This is all I have. This is all I have. We could be in the worst timeline where it's the old game, but the battle reward system. I would take it. I would honestly take it. It sucks, but I would take it. It's better than One Piece 2. The black one is probably the, I don't know which, I'm not going to speculate which color is which. I think the white one's the dawn. It's a good thing that Digital has so many failed card games and none of them went in a reboot. Yeah, fair. Didn't Naruto TCG just release it? Did. Naruto Mythos came out, and now it's gonna die because this game's gonna replace it in 6 months. So be on the lookout for that. You're somehow sounding like the people crying about how good Playground Yu-Gi-Oh was. I think you're right. What? No, I'm talking about a real game. This is a real game that existed. Did you know this game has 28 sets? Guys, Naruto has 28 sets. I don't think you're hearing me right. 28, look at all these sets. One of the last sets, I think this is messed up. The last set is Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. Like, how many did they release a year? The game came out in 2006 and died in 2013. It lasted 7 years. The reason the game died, I'm pretty sure, is they just ran out of material. They didn't have the One Piece tech back then of just printing whatever. They printed the game chronologically. And they printed it in tandem with the anime. So, like, Path of Hokage, the first set, it's all, like, the first 12 episodes. It's all Kasame stuff. Whoops, back too far. It's all the first couple episodes. And then some random stuff for Spice, like Leaf Rowan and stuff for, Guy. Right? But it's, like, all Season 1 stuff. And it keeps going like this for a while. And then they hit Shippuden, and they updated the card frame to Shippuden. And then by the end of the game, they're so out of stuff to adapt, they made an entire set for Ninja Storm 3. It lasted more than a Vanguard to reboot. Yeah, right? But like this game came out from 2006 to 2013, right? This came out in it like before like the big TCG. When this game died, Vanguard came out. So like this game I wouldn't even say died. This game like, oh yeah, Zabuza. Kasami's the shark guy. I don't know why I said that. Zabuza my goat. Kasami's shark man with the chakra stealing sword. It's been a while. Sorry, I'm a little heated. I can't think straight. But this game went away because they just kind of caught up and they ran out of stuff. Like, what do we do? And they're like, well, we made our money. We can just can it. Because it was Bandai, and they were still printing a bunch of games back then. They had the Dragon Ball game. They had the friggin', like, there was a Dragon Ball game with the same rule set that came out around this time. They came out with the Bleach, you know, they were still doing the sludge back then. They just ran out of stuff. But now, with the One Piece tech of, like, oh, we just adapt whatever we want for each set, they could print an infinite number of Naruto sets. Like, a revival of this game could be extremely, like, possible and theoretical. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about Playground Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? This is a good game that existed. It just ran out of source material because of the way they decided to adapt it into the game. That they were like, yeah, we're just out of stuff. It's been 7 years, 28 sets. We're just done. Or we're done now. We're good. We're done. Like, that's how it died. So, like, oh, man. I don't not say I still have Power World, dude. No, I don't want to play Power World. Power World is if like Power World is Bushy's Bandai game. Power World is literally if Bushy had made a Bandai game. Like that's the best way I can describe Power World. I'll play it, but it's kind of sad. Here at XP Villain decks, they're not going to do an asymmetrical thing. I doubt it. Like that barely worked for Star Wars. That's not a thing. You have to do like an LCG like Netrunner. But you can't do an asymmetrical TCG. It just like doesn't work. They sold the IP to 2 TCGs releasing soon. Must have been no. Oh yeah, I'll explain the IP. So for all the new people, yeah, there's 50 people in chat. For all the new people, the way the IPs work is Naruto Mythos bought the rights to the anime from TV Tokyo. Bandai bought the rights to Naruto the manga and the intellectual property from Shueisha. Basically, what this means is Naruto Mythos can only do anime screenshots and, like, PNGs that they've been sent by TV Tokyo. And then the Bandai game can do all manga art and original art. Sort of like, so it's basically going to be like the One Piece TCG without the anime screenshots. That's how, like, the licensing thing works. I was legit convinced we're getting a Kamen Rider TCG. They're never printing. We're never getting a Kamen Rider thing in English. It's been like decades. We're never getting anything Kamen Rider. We got Ultraman before we got Kamen Rider in English. I don't think we're ever getting it. Maybe eventually, but like I doubt we're ever getting it. Highly, highly doubt it. The colors are funny because Yin Chakra is white, which Naruto has Infinity 4, and Yang is black, which Sasuke has Infinity 4. You think this was intentional? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. Why would they make card art out of ingrained screen caps? It's all they had. They were out of stuff to adapt. They caught up to the anime, and they had to drop a set. They had nothing to put on cards, so they just went. I guess Ninja Storm 3 is coming out. Sure, and they made a whole set out of it. Man, I never knew about it. I mean, it was before my time. I didn't start playing card games till 2012, and I was in 5th grade, so I like just missed Naruto. I wasn't even allowed to watch the show as a kid, so I probably didn't even know this game existed. So yeah, I super missed it. I mean, Bandai did this with the Panini DBZ Square game and their DBZ card games. See them killing Mythos as precedent. Yeah, right. Like we've seen this before, and like also like, Universes has the My Hero IP, and so does Union Arena. Nikkei, the Gooner mobile game, is in 3 different card games. It's in Weiss, it's in Naval Arena, and it's in Union Arena. So like, we've seen IPs get spread before, but this is more like what happened with Attack on Titan, where UVS has the rights to specifically the Attack on Titan manga. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think Bushy has the rights to the Mappa anime, and Union Arena has the rights to the original anime. I could be wrong, though. Some of the designers back in the day, because Florida is one of the bigger places for it. That's pretty hype. That's actually really sick. Yeah, this game lasted for a long freaking time. This is not back in the day. It was literally because they're. Oh yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm right. I'm so glad I'm right. That they just ran out of stuff, and like yeah, I was just killing a bunch of stuff back then. Like that's when like Bleach stopped, DBZ stopped, Like, they were just canning stuff back then. Like, this didn't die because it, like, sucked and flopped and was bad or, like, died out. They just straight up just ran out of material to put on the cards, and they were already, like, downsizing a lot of their games. So they literally just said, we're done. Like, we're done now. That's it. Game, like, it's over. No more game. It's over. So, like, there is extreme precedent for, like, actually bringing it back. It's not like some random revival. I was gonna save money for a case for this new TCG, but outside of the villain, I just don't care about Toronto that much. If you don't go TCG, I mean, yeah, right. Playing Naruto TCG, graduated high school. I mean, it's true. Do you think Power World TCG would like Pokemon TCG? What does that mean? It would be kind of funny though if your theory turned out to be true, like the game gets the BSS treatment. No. Well, luckily, I don't think this game can get the BSS treatment because, like, well, I mean, I guess it could. I'd be shocked. It'd be impressive if it got the BSS treatment. I'd be flabbergasted. But even if it did, it's going to survive off of it being a Naruto game. Even if it got the BSS treatment, it'll live based off the fact that it's Naruto, so I'll take it. Mythos only has pre-Shippuden 2, if I recall correctly. I think, yeah. I think they're doing a similar thing where they're trying to keep it chronological, at least to, like, a point. Where, like, I assume, like, the first year they'll do, I think they'll slowly eventually get into Shippuden stuff. But they'll get there eventually. Powered is like some old Bandai X-Wise Chimera that managed to be nothing like Pokemon despite everyone thinking it would. Yeah, it literally plays like the Bushiroad Bandai game. I don't think there is a single unique idea in the Power World TCG. Every single bit of anything in that game is from something else. I can't think of a single unique idea in the Power World game. It's kind of ridiculous. So IP stuff but not anime screenshots. Yeah, right. So it should look really good theoretically. Doing stock art card, very common thing even today. So doing stock art, they have to. That's the reason you see stock art is because when they license these IPs, typically, not always, right? One Piece is different. The Naruto license is different, but a lot of what happens is when you license the IPs, you only license the right to use art that are like when you license the IP, you are only allowed to use whatever the IP sends you. Right? So example, when Universes license the My Hero IP, the only art they're allowed to use or produce is just whatever My Hero sends them. So that normally boils down to screenshots from the anime, because they have access to all the anime episodes, and any, like, promotional stock PNG asset. That's it. They're not allowed to create new content for these games. You're only allowed to use what the company sends you. So, like, that's why you will see stock images and screenshots all the time, because that is literally all these companies are allowed to use. Which, like, sucks, but it is what it is. If they were smart, they could have started from the first Storm game. I mean, did they? Oops, I went back too far. They might have done a Storm before this. No, yeah, no, they just ran out of anime. That's why, yeah, because they're like, all they have is Storm 3. Like, they're like, the Storm 3 is coming out. I guess we could do like a tie-in thing, but they're out. They're literally out of stuff. I think Shinobi's Dream came out before the Storm stuff. I think Storm was the last set. This came out before, and then they were like just straight. Or is this a video game? No, it's an art. Okay. I think this was the last set. But yeah, no, it's kind of tragic. Didn't know old Naruto as a kid, but did play Duel Masters. Was good. Duel Masters was so good. Mailing the proof of purchase, cool game. Yeah. Get them out. I think Cyber 2 even said that. The last Ultimate Storm game. Dude, yeah, it was a shocker we got Ultimate Storm 4. It's not going to be because I'm not posting tournaments. The BSS treatment, the Battle Secret Saga treatment, is when you take a game, and I mean, it's hard to describe. Basically, there's a Japanese game called Battle Spirits, and it's awesome, but it's been around for too long from the print to English, so they had to like reboot it. But they took everything that was cool about the game, sucked the soul out of it, and gave us some super generic magic clone looking sludge that was bad and boring, and they tried to promote it solely by saying, hey, we're gonna have tournaments where you can win a lot of money. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. I late to the stream, but don't we have a Naruto game Yeah, we have Mythos. It's not. It's okay. The difference is this is a Bandai game. This is gonna be One Piece 2, and Naruto Mythos is like a Oshi Push or Riftbound. Power not being unique anyway. I guess it's true to the source material. Hey, where else can you play Pokemon with guns, huh? Where else can you do that? That's new. But yeah. Yeah, right. They want control over their characters. They say you're only allowed to use what we send you, and then they only send them PNGs and stuff. It's just kind of how it goes. Always usually $10 a pack if they try to secure the rights to create original content. Right. It would make the price super expensive. Like, yeah, they're just kind of stuck doing that. 13, we're in the middle of the filler arc. The Great Ninja War. Yeah, that sounds about right. So you had these fights. You had like the Minato Obito fight. It was around. No, they don't print them exactly chronologically, so some could be old stuff, some could be future stuff. I'm just trying to see like where the anime would have been at the time. But I think you're right. Okay, so you would have had the Akatsuki resurrection thing. But dude, this is how desperate they are, dude. Look at the difference. They had it's like the same arc twice, dude. They were out of stuff. They were just completely out of things, which sucks because the game was so cool. But they really just ran out of stuff. But Bandai will have their own art. At least they have the rights to produce their own art. So it'll be like One Piece. They'll probably do their own art, just like One Piece. Just give Ice Shield card game? Dog, Panini already killed NFL 25 or whatever it was called, like after a set and a half. I don't think we're getting a football card game anytime soon. How old are you? You said you were tuned to watch Naruto. I was in second grade when it came out. I'm 32 now. I'm 24. I remember being in like early elementary school, like 3rd or 4th grade, and Naruto was on the TV. I don't know. It was pre-Shippuden. I know that. But that would have been like 2006, 7, 6, 7. I don't know. I'm 24. But yeah, I missed it. I didn't start playing card games until 2012. That's when I found Card Fight Vanguard. We're also gonna play Pokemon Gun. Digimon is right there with a group of Pokemon and Musketeer guys who have guns and a sword. Those are girls. Those are girls. Those aren't Pokemon. Those are just whole women. Do you have a card game you think that is fairly balanced? What? Do I have a card game that I think is fairly balanced? Well, like, no card game as a whole is balanced. Like, that's like very like format and meta dependent. Like, I have like different metas that are more balanced than others in different games. But like as a whole, Pokemon, like it's a tough question. I don't think they ever had the power to make new art for that old game before. It's really cool because they made the backgrounds. Yeah. What's up with the other Naruto TCG when it was supposed to come out? Oh, it came out. So it came out in EU, and it's been out for a bit, and it's coming out in America, in the States, in September, October. So it's coming out. We'll get it in fall. The thing is, they have the rights to the anime that they bought from TV Tokyo, and Bandai has the rights to the intellectual property and the manga that they bought straight from Shueisha. Basically, Mythos is locked to anime screenshots, and Bandai can make whatever they want. So crazy, so many TCGs are out there. Sony ended up being half dead. We're releasing more right now. Yeah, it's a big trend. It's trendy. It's trendy to make card game. Card game make good money. It's trendy. I do think the Power game is cool. Power the game is actually pretty fun. Naruto fan and I find it hard to be excited about this. Anyone even said Bardo yet? No. Not yet. Yu-Gi-Oh, of course. Yeah. 3 Musketeers contain one girl? Yeah, there's a guy. There's a girl. It's the... I've seen her in the Digimon game. Her cards are expensive. With Naruto and Cyberpunk coming out, Chaotic is dead on arrival. I think the only thing with Chaotic is that, I mean, it's not good. Chaotic is not coming out at a good time. We? Who's we? I'll play Chaotic very casually. Chaotic is tough because it's one of those games that is like unique enough to stand out as a different game, but also unique enough to put people off, and that it is so different. And it also has the, like, it's such a 50-50 because it is unique enough to stand out as its own thing, but also so unique it might push people away because it's so different. It is an IP that is beloved and recognized from people's childhoods, but is also not like an outside IP. It is its own original IP. So who knows how Chaotic's gonna... I think Chaotic is gonna fall in line in the realm of games like Sorcery and like the Final Fantasy card game. It's gonna have a very small but extremely dedicated niche. That's my guess. I think the game will do okay. I don't think it's going to explode. I don't think it's going to do crazy well. I think the market's a little too saturated for that. It does. I agree. Chaotic has really good deck building. But also, 80% of the game is the deck building. Actually playing the game is kind of a snooze fest. Most of the fun of Chaotic has had deck building. So I think it's going to do fine and going to have a very strong established niche. I don't think it's going to go crazy. Yeah, the online client will definitely help a lot. At least in my area, people give it a try. Yeah, right. Everyone will try a game when it comes out. That's why you can't judge a card game based off its set 1, because everyone's going to try set 1. You judge a card game based off its set 4. If it's still around after a year or a year and a half, then you can be like, okay, this game might have some longevity to it. But you gotta... Everyone's going to play set 1. Yeah, meta stuff. Probably online client it goes, so what it is, might have a fighting chance overall. Yeah, right. Some of those would explode with some of the characters for FF. Chaotic's very unique, but not grabbing enough. Potentially start experimenting creatures. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think Chaotic is a pretty good, like a defined ceiling on how like not intense, how in depth its gameplay can really be. I think it's fine. I think it'll carve out its niche. It's just not going to be a very large niche. I feel like you know how card games go and stick around. Oh, that's the second year is when a game dies or not. Year 2 is when a card game dies. If it makes it past the second year, that's a pretty good sign. But year 2 is when games die. I just came based to get to say Exodia Obliterate. I guess you're only playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I want to take a quick look at Primal. I want to see if they've improved how their cards look and feel. Oh, Duel Masters? Oh gosh, no, it won't. Duel Masters can't. So the big problem with Duel Masters, the designers want it to come to English. They want Duel Masters in English really bad. It's never gonna happen because it has already died twice in America. So I don't think the people that would need to say yes and greenlight it, they're never gonna say yes. There's no way. I would be very surprised if we got Duel Masters in English. I'd be very surprised. Especially with how much they've tried to like soft push it, I would be shocked if we actually got it. I want it. I love Duel Masters, right? I love Duel Masters. I'd love to get it back, but I just don't think it's possible. But yeah, we'll see. Wizards of the Coast. What company does Duel Masters? Wizards of the Coast. That's right. Hasbro owned Magic the Gathering people. They make Duel Masters. Alright. So for those of you that don't know, Primal is a game. When Naruto died, right? Card frame, too colorful. I don't think it's too colorful. I think just like their aesthetics are all over the place and it has no identity. Like the game has no identity outside of cool anime. Okay, so Primal is a game. What card game would you say was the darkest, most grim? WeCross. Watch Select Your Infected WeCross. That's your answer. Select Your Infected WeCross. It's Madoka Magica with card games. It's very, very good. So Primal was a game when Naruto died. A bunch of fans tried to keep the game going with a couple of fan sets. I think they made like 3 or 4. They got to like, yeah, I think they made 3. They got set like 33 or something. And they kind of stopped doing that. And then this game came along and said, what if we just revived the game by just remaking it with a new skin on it, right? So this game came out on Kickstarter in like 2021 or something. And it was just the Naruto TCG, just with a different skin. But as you said, the art when it came out, because I only really looked at it when it came out, the art was really bad. The art was really bad. Is there a card? Can I look at the card search? Oh, wait, here we go. Can I do set? Card set. It would be what? New Genesis? I don't recognize any of these. I think it might be this. No, these are all. I have never seen these before. That might be the new set. Awakened Primordials. I think it's this? Yes. Yeah, it's okay, this is set 1. Okay. Yeah, this is set 1. This game it's just weird. And it's oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I don't even know if I can show some of this. Okay. So as you can tell, the art, despite some of it being kind of bad, is all over the place. For some reason, I don't know why they decide. So in Naruto, it's let me bring that back up. This is actually important. In Naruto, Naruto is a world of ninjas. It's Gunner 2. It is Gunner 2, unfortunately. It's just like, and it's not even like consistently Gunner. It's just random art pops up and you're like, whoa, she's naked for some reason. But the Naruto IP, it's a world of ninjas. It's Ninja World. It's the ninja game. They're all ninjas. And different ninjas use different elements of chakra, right? Kashi's got fire chakra. Naruto's got lightning chakra. Ugh. But they're all like ninjas. They're all from the same world. It's just some ninjas, they use different techniques, and those different techniques come from a different like magic source, right? So like you got some fire it's like not even fire ninjas, but it's like ninjas that use fire, ninjas that like use earth, right? It's kind of, but they're all very clearly from the same thing. Naruto doesn't have lightning. Well, he does in the card game, because when the game came out, because you don't know Naruto's chakra alignment until like Shippuden, when he invents like the Rasen Shuriken. So when the game came out, they didn't know what Naruto was. They had no clue. They knew Sasuke was going to be fire because he does the fireball jutsu. But then they made anyone whatever. So they just made Sakura air or wind. They made Sakura wind and Naruto lightning. And then they just kind of kept these affinities for like the rest of the game. But the way like the way the chakra system like works is that it is not tied to any like specific thing. It's just characters within the world use different elements. This game's not canon. Well, I mean, it was canon at the time. Well, I guess technically now, but like at the time, no one knew. But whatever, right? For some reason in Primal, they decided to take the chakra elements and then just like make them locked to archetypes. So anything with water chakra was a pirate. And all of the water cards were pirates. Anything with necro chakra was a plague doctor. Some kind of plague doctor. And then like you had, what else was it? There was plasma. Also, like the elements were weird. It was super random. It's like water. Okay, I'm familiar with water. I know water. We got air. I know air. I'm familiar with air. Then you have necro. Okay, I guess dark. Sure, that's an element. All right, dark. Plasma? And if you notice, I'm not seeing any fire. Oh no, there is fire. Okay, there's fire down here. There's some fire. I was about to say, I'm seeing plasma before I'm seeing fire. If anything, fire is plasma, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's earth. Yeah, there's Terra. Okay, earth, Terra. I'm good with earth. But yeah, they had like water, wind, fire, earth. Okay, then the chakra elements, and then added necro and plasma. I don't even think we know. Yeah, I don't think we do know what chakra element affinity is. But yeah, so like, I mean, yeah, plasma is also lightning. Lightning is plasma. But then you think, okay, what is plasma? What are the plasma guys? What do the plasma dudes do? Well, there's dragons. Well, actually, it's not a dragon. It's a symbiote. Okay. What's this guy? Another symbiote dragon. And then, where are they? That's not a good example. Where's a guy? Where's a purple? Oh yeah, and then also the art is super consistent. Why is this Mortal Kombat character next to this like old Yu-Gi-Oh card or this old early 2000s anime? It's just all over the place. It's drag inked. It's plasma is people with dragon tattoos. Okay. Yeah, right. I'm like, if the game just had some cohesion to its world, it could have been good. It could have been really good. I think it could have been great. But it's just like, oh, and then it's just like goonery for no reason. And then the gooner is next to, they have a Digimon Pokemon ripoff for some reason. The white border, these guys are like Micromon. They're Micromons. They have their Micromon Digimon knockoff next to each other. Like, as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, okay, so here's the thing. Yu-Gi-Oh, it works in Yu-Gi-Oh because every single Yu-Gi-Oh card has the exact same card frame. It's the exact same. It's honestly, it's more similar to Naruto. How every ninja is on the exact same style of frame. The only thing different between the frames is the background to represent which element they are. Right? But it's like the background of the art. It's not even the frame itself. So like you can just look at a card frame and know it's a monster card. Right? Yu-Gi-Oh is similar, right? Yu-Gi-Oh, you look at the card frame and you're like, oh, that's the monster card frame. And then you see the picture of the monster inside. But in this game, the card frame is distinctly tied to the element. Right? So any blue bordered card you see is going to be a pirate. Right? Imagine, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! If like all of the synchro monsters were all, like, I don't know, we're all junk robots all the time. So every time you saw a white guy, it's a junk robot. But then every single like Seas monster was a vampire. And every black border card was a vampire. Like, it would clash a lot more. Because Yu-Gi-Oh's card border is consistent across the board, you have a lot more room to play with the art in the frame because there is still cohesion between everything, right? It's just that the cohesion isn't with your art. With Vanguard, right? Vanguard's an example where the art, this actually goes into my Battle Spirits video of why Battle Spirits is the worst card frame of all time. But the art's that breaks the border? Yeah, for real. Vanguard, the art takes up the entire card. So as soon as stuff doesn't have cohesion, it's extremely noticeable, right? So this is why like Yu-Gi-Oh! Clans require a lot of cohesion, and there's a consistent art style across the Vanguard game as a whole. Like, you look at a Vanguard card and like, that's a Vanguard card, right? So BF has cardboard and Yu-Gi-Oh! Creature designs. Buddy Fight? Yeah, but Buddy Fight, you are locked into a world, right? So, like, all of the card borders are so distinct from each other because every deck is locked to that one world. So it can have sole cohesion within itself, and it doesn't need to spread. Like Buddy Fight didn't get like multi-world cards for forever until like Dungeon World started doing random stuff. This is a game where you're meant to mix things together, right? Typically, you could have like normally two element deck because again, you don't want to have like your chakra too spread thin to be able to cast your jutsus. You could play like a multi-element deck. Like the best deck in set 1 was Fire Water, right? You're going to be mixing things together. That's what makes the game kind of like fun, right? This kind of tells me that I shouldn't be mixing things together. I should put all of the Digimon with the Digimon. All of the pirates need to go with the pirates. All of the necromancer, all of the plague doctors need to go with the plague doctors. These guys clearly don't exist in the same world. These are from two completely different things. But I also would not want to put these in the same deck. They feel like they don't go together whatsoever. Maybe there's a rules thing I missed with Primal and that like you're not supposed to mix elements together, right? But I feel like that was part of the fun.
was being able to combine elements together and make decks, but then the art was all over the place. Like, yeah, this looks kind of good, but then it's next to a Magic the Gathering card. Like, it was just kind of a disaster. Like the old Digimon game in the background was field they belonged to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I honestly, low-key, I love the Naruto card border. There's something about it that it just hits. It just hits. I love it. I think it looks so good. What IPs? None. I don't want to any more. I hate IP games. I have a whole video on it where I open like a Dragon Ball booster box. I hate IP games. I don't like them. Even if it's like IP I like, I still don't like them. I would infinitely prefer original IP. The problem is original IP is a lot riskier because A, it might not be as popular, but B, you get stuff like this because you're just in the Wild West. And sometimes the original IP just doesn't work out, and you just get like the most random, off the wall. Like these are not. How are these in the same game as this? You know, it just like the cohesion is just not there. It just looks whack. And then also at the start of the game, the Micromons were like omega busted. Like they were bonkers broken. So they had to like rebalance the game I think like 3 times before it came out. Like it was bad. So like it's like I don't really know if I trust the designers cuz like they kept breaking the game over and over and over again. Oh. That would be interesting. Well, also here's the thing. Wait. Let's back it up. This is Primal, the reboot of the Naruto card game. It's kind of rough. Hire an art. Yeah, just an art director. Hire an art director, please. Oh, for the love of jeez, please do that. Okay, here's the thing. You want Dead by Daylight to be an IP in a card game. That's like saying you want Fortnite to be an IP of a card game. Dead by Daylight is horror movie Fortnite. What do you mean Dead by Daylight card game? That's called a horror movie. That's called Spooky Union Arena. Like what? Dead by Daylight is the Fortnite of horror movie video games. That'd be a crazy IP to make a card game off of. It's not even an IP. Whatever. DC Marvel could pull it off. They tried with Versus System, which I think is actually still around as a whack LCG. But if you want a Marvel card game, yeah, and unfortunately Magic is now Fortnite the card game, as sad as that is. If you want a Marvel card game, go pick up old Versus System cards. The game was actually pretty fun. And it was Marvel and DC. Go pick up old Marvel and DC cards for Versus System. The game's really good. Oh, it's right there. I didn't see the comment. That's awesome. Yeah, Lamau, I totally missed that. Sorry, Jacob. I missed that. But yeah, go play Versus System. It's goated. You say support original IPs or to put your money to it. Yeah. I mean, I still buy Vanguard cards. You know, as much dude, oh my gosh, one of the things that this is gonna sound so whack, but one of the things that makes me so mad is when everyone online is like, support original artists. And it's like, yeah, that is the easiest thing in the world that you could possibly say. It costs you nothing to type a tweet that goes, support original artists. Maybe go buy a piece of art or something, you know? Like, that drives me up a wall. But, like, you are right. Like, I'm not the kind... I would never say support. I would never be like, go support original IPs. Because when they look like this, don't do that, you know? Original IPs are tough because they have to be good. And that also it's why like we can't really expect like Bandai or a bigger game to give us an original IP because there's so much risk behind it. It's so easy to flop, especially in a world where just acquiring an existing IP is such an easy slam dunk idea. Like you need such an incredible justification for making an original IP. Like it is beyond difficult and extremely risky. It's unfortunate, but it's how it is. Marvel Champions. Yeah, Marvel Champions, though, is not even like a LCG. It's an LCG, but it's like a cooperative and solo card game. It's not even like a 1v1 thing. It's like neat, but yeah. I mean, if you really like Marvel, I'd say go play. That's your best bet to play it, but yeah. But yeah. Versus was fun. I only saw my brother play it. Dude, my locals has the Spider-Man versus Doc Ock starter decks for some reason. My friend bought one and we played a couple games and I had a good time. And then when I was like in middle school, I bought a booster box of the Batman set because I found it for like $20 on Amazon. It was great. Uno Ultimate, okay. I mean, that is a Marvel game. Wait, no, dude, yeah, no, our system is old. Original IP costs so much money to design the world to make its art. It's insane. Sort of. It's tough. It's just hard. I wouldn't say like it costs too much money, but it's like you need to have a solid idea. You know what I mean? You can't just do this and just get like whatever art you want. You need to have like a good idea. And like an idea you care about. Right? Like Grand Archive is a pretty okay example. I think it's a solid enough IP. There's some art I really don't like in that game, but it's just because of how like the game is structured. But like Grand Archive is a fair enough example of good IP. Have you seen the Japanese arcade games use link battle cards? No. Maybe like one or two, but not like intimately familiar. Different settings is a cable and it feels like it's from completely different properties. Yeah, right. Like you need some amount of visual cohesion. Like Cardfight Vanguard, right? You have plant princesses fighting dragons, fighting cyber knights, right? A lot of random stuff going on, but it all has a visual cohesion, and you can always tell what is a Cardfight Vanguard card and what is not, right? It's very important. Remember Chances came out PvP rules last year. Oh, they did. How would that work? How did PvP? I guess you just smack each other. That feels like one of those things, though, that it's like, okay, I guess you can play it that way, but the game is clearly not designed for it. But like, I guess you can do that if you desire, right? But I wouldn't call it like it's not like designed for it in like the traditional sense. I saw someone say support indie artists, but in the Art Festa actually spotlighted an artist blacksmith that made some fire ironstone pieces. Oh, okay, okay. Original TCGs and super competitive space are just not cutting it unless they have. You need, yeah, right, and like you're not gonna like an original IP isn't gonna get away with just being like a Bandai slop clone. That's not gonna fly there. You have to actually have an original idea. That's why like the only successful original games we've seen is like Grand Archive and Flesh and Blood, right? Because they're actually like doing different things. Like you are not gonna get away with just doing the bog standard Bandai sludge. It's not gonna fly. DC and Marvels was pretty fun. I've seen it in Targets, but never bought it. If you're set, I say if the cards you need to commission pieces of art. Okay, yeah, but like, you also have to pay for the IP rights. You have to purchase the rights to the IP. It's not free, so you're spending money regardless. And then the good games do commission art, like the popular games, like Gundam, One Piece. They commission art. Riftbound uses Runeterra art that they commissioned from artists. Like you have to do that. You don't have to. You should be doing that regardless, right? You still need to commission that art regardless, unless you go full screenshot route, which only works if you're doing something like Union Arena or Weiss, where you are spending a ton of money on IP acquisition, right? Your game probably isn't going to do very well if it's just 100% screenshots, and it's only one IP. It's not a successful idea, you know? Everything you see probably you can see in Cardfight Vanguard with a cohesive art style. Exactly, right? Like, they probably could have made this work with a more cohesive art style, but also I don't think that that's even the right idea, because Vanguard, the cards are isolated to clans, right? You shouldn't be isolating archetypes in a game with a resource system like Chakra, where you're supposed to kind of splash things together, right? Maybe they made it more archetype focused as a game. I'm sure I'm sure all these cards just say when you're character style. This one's generic, right? You could make it more archetypal and card text, but like game mechanic wise, you are meant to splash things. So they really shouldn't take the Cardfight Vanguard approach. You should only do the Cardfight Vanguard approach if you are like locking things to themselves, right? You are making something like clans or like worlds and buddy fight. Otherwise, things should be cohesive enough that I can see all of these in the same deck and not really get too perplexed. But yeah, even if multiple clans have dragons, you can tell which clans it belongs to. What about Lorcana? I mean, what about it? I think more independent creators aren't going to have enough money to buy an IP. Independent creators are actually, it's going to be much cheaper for them to commission art than to try to purchase an IP. Like, you can't do that. No independent creator is gonna have the bankroll to go acquire a popular IP, right? The closest you can get maybe is like the independent VTuber games coming out, like Oshi Push. That's like the closest you're really gonna get to like indie companies that can acquire intellectual properties. Like it's much cheaper to commission art than it is, or like it's much cheaper to hire an in-house artist than it is to try to purchase IP rights. And not even like cheaper, it's just easier. It's infinitely easier. Which TCG game plays the best mechanic-wise? Oh, Digimon is funny because it seems the best designed. None of the mechanics matter. Like, the memory system is one of the coolest resources of all time, but if you play Digimon, it's completely irrelevant. Memory doesn't matter whatsoever. It is entirely irrelevant. So the plays the best mechanic-wise is Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood plays the best mechanic-wise. It is the best, objectively best card game on the market. It's Flesh and Blood. The problem is, I don't like the art. But, like, mechanically speaking, Flesh and Blood plays the best. But also, like, if you're talking about which one's more fun, that's personal preference. I can't tell you what that is. Hey, not anymore! Not anymore! You can play Silver Age. If you have a problem with Flesh and Blood's pricing, which was totally fair because the game is $1 trillion, you can now play Silver Age, the game's pauper format. It's just commons and rares. It's officially supported. There's 8 trillion starter decks you can buy for it. Super easy to get into. If you guys have not been trying Flesh and Blood, go play Silver Age. Silver Age is not nearly as fun as CC. Okay, well then, like, I don't know what to tell you then. Like, you gotta have, we can't have our cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? Like, if one is too expensive and the other one is you like, but you like it more, then I'm sorry. That's a problem I can't solve. Like, if your problem is price, that is a solvable problem. But if your problem is, I want to play the format that has the price, that is not one I can solve. But, yeah. 90% of the games have commission art, basically. I might have missed the pro convo because I was saying it's difficult for independent creators to get art for all their cards. Okay. But, so, like, what's the, like, point there? It's difficult for independent creators to get art for all their other cards. Yes. I agree. You know what I mean? I don't, like... I agree? Question mark? I think that's what I'm supposed to say there. Like, yeah, it's not easy. It's really hard. If you can't draw, it's hard to get art. Problem with Flesh and Blood is the... Yeah, okay, wait, sorry. Where was I going? Where am I? Might be bigger if the main format was cheaper. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, dude, Exceed's so good. The problem, though, is Exceed is not a TCG, right? If you want a TCG, you gotta play like Flesh and Blood. But I totally agree with you. I would much rather... I think you are 100% correct that Exceed offers a, I would say, better experience. But it's because Exceed isn't a TCG, so you lose all of the elements that a TCG brings. But I do agree. I think I like Exceed more as a game. I think Exceed is so fun. Played as much as CC. Well, Sage is also brand new. Like, it's a new format. People have been playing CC since 2019. Sage came out like 4 months ago. I just quit the game instead. I mean, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to play Flesh and Blood, but I'm saying it is probably the best game. And fighters have cool different mechanics. Yeah, dude, Exceed is so cool. I just wish it was a TCG. If it was a TCG, I'd play so much of it. I feel like the ninja style doesn't feel as cohesive and primal as it does in Star. Oh, yeah, I don't know why they kept the show. This could have been literally anything. You just need one number on the bottom and then one number that's legible when the card is tilted, so it's injured. They didn't really need to keep the like kunai aesthetic, but I mean, I think it's fine. I don't really mind it that much. Ugh. What's funny about Flesh and Blood is some of the content creators that I saw recommending it in the beginning sounded like saying fishes and blood. Oh, that sounds lovely. I was making an argument. I just missed the IP part, so I was saying. Oh, I see. I thought you were trying to say like, it's too expensive to hire artists, so they should try to like use IPs. I'm like, that's not possible. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it is hard, for sure. Um, when we can start playing card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! XCs, like 20 like hat format, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Hat format. Is that what you're talking about? Let me look at a newer Primal set. I think that would have to be New Genesis. Let's see if anything's been updated. Oh, if anything, it got worse. Oh, what is this? A field? Whatever. I guess that's fine. Oh, I love, dude. Don't even get me started on Rush Duels. Oh, I love Rush Duels, man. If we had Rush Duels, oh, I'd love Rush Duels. If this game's still coming out, yes, I think. I don't know. Like, it's one of those games that, like, the Kickstarter was in, like, 2021, and then I feel like it never came out, and then it did come out, and then it just started getting sets, so I guess it's still coming out. It's weird. It's not popular at all. I think it's only popular in, like, Florida. No one makes content for it. I don't know who plays it. I guess they're making more archetypes now. We got a robot. We got a piano lady, music lady. Yeah, I don't know who plays the game. I mean, this looks better-ish. Like, they could have just stuck to this, like, early 2000s aesthetic. Oh, this guy looks really good. I heard this guy. That looks great. This one, that looks like from, like, a... I don't know about that one. I mean, yeah, I guess it's just pretty much the same. It's basically the same. Oh, wow. I'm in Florida. There's only, like, one Storm Miami that plays it, not that many people. Yeah, and that's probably the biggest scene. Straight up, probably the biggest scene. What about a new TCG with doodle and stickman art? You can save money. You can do that. It's called Gem. Let me pull up this game. You don't need crazy art. Let's look at gem blenders. Can I just look at some art? Hello? No, I don't get my email. Bullshit. Arts. Base set. Gem blenders has extremely minimalistic art. Right? This is all the art in the game. It's all like this. So you don't need to do crazy art to make a game. You can just do stuff like this, and it's pretty fine. And I got like some fancier stuff, but it's all pretty basic. Hashtag dogs, no! So Forceful, that's hype. Dude, Forceful is kind of goated. At least artist cohesive. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you can do minimalistic, but this has a very specific style to it, right? There's a very specific style. Digimon, I hate One Piece. So you can do something like this. You can keep things very minimalistic. You don't gotta go crazy. And then the spell cards are just like icons, right? You don't have to do the craziest thing in the universe. Just make your art just have a style. Have some sort of medium of style. Or make it cohesive, right? Let me know that these all take place in the same world, right? That's all you really gotta do. If you can do that, good start. Let's see. There's an interview with one guy that worked at the time on Konami while advertising his new game. Mentioned that Konami JP offered the format. They said they keep speed instead. Yeah. Dude, yeah, man. What a crazy flub, man. Rush Duels are so cool. I love Rush Duels. Oh, yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh! The crayon dinosaurs. Those are cool. The art isn't necessarily something I write home about, but it's cohesive. Honestly, yeah, right? Like, it's not supposed to be, like, the most incredible thing in the world, but it fits the vibe, and it does what it's supposed to do. Right? That's kind of what matters. Solitaire? Okay. Alright. Force of Will is just Yu-Gi-Oh! Dude, that's the one thing I don't like, is Force of Will is like if Magic the Gathering had the Yu-Gi-Oh! Power creep, which took it to the place of now, if your card is not at most 2 mana and a flash, it's bad. I'm like, I can't do that. That's too much for me, dude. I like Magic the Gathering. I'm not gonna play Magic the Gathering Yu-Gi-Oh! But man, I like old Force of Will. Like Alice Cluster Force of Will, peak gameplay. Just ban some of the regalia and you're cooking. But what I hope to see in the new Naruto game, I want it to just be this. I want it to be this again. If it's One Piece 2, I'm gonna lose my mind. But if it's this again, I'll be very, very happy. That's what I want to see. They changed the main form to Beast Legacy? Yeah, but I mean, they kind of have to. Like, a modern Force of Will card is, like, almost imparseable to a new player. Like, I tried reading modern Force of Will cards, and they all have, like, 6 keywords on them that are in no way intuitive. There's so much, like, feature creep and bloat on Force of Will cards that, like, they need some sort of slightly watered-down format to even, like, attempt to explain to new players how the game works. Like, that game really needs, like, a standard or something. Does Flash be able to play from hand? It's instant. Yeah, instant quick play. Like, in Force of Will, if it's not a quick play card or an instant, it's, like, automatically bad. Like, unless it's a one drop. Like, it's crazy. People are like, if it doesn't have quick cast, it's probably not worth playing. I'm like, that's insane. Actually ridiculous. No, I hate don't say that format. Don't say anything in regards to the C word. Even if it's C word adjacent. I don't know, it's hard for Bandai to make IP card games good. Yeah, I mean, true. You're getting One Piece with ninjas. I don't make the rule. I don't want One Piece with ninjas. Yeah, dude, the keywords are... It's incredible. There's so many of them. It's almost like more than Magic. And at least Magic, they have reminder text. None of the Force of Will cards have reminder text on them. Like, what? That's ridiculous. When Force of Will and Vanguard were sold as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dude, Force of Will was supposed to be the Magic Killer. Force of Will was gonna be the Magic Killer, and it got really close. The company just made, like, 6 terrible decisions back to back, and it killed the game. It's kind of crazy. But it was on track to be, like, the Magic Killer. It was the closest any game's gotten. What mechanic make you like the old Naruto games so much? Oh, okay. That's... Whew. I played Runeterra. A little bit. I only played a little bit, but I heard it was really good, and a lot of card game players that I highly respect are Runeterra pros, or, like, got popular playing Runeterra. So it's a game I hold a lot of respect for. I didn't play too much of it myself. I played, like, when it came out. But, like, I don't like digital card games. I can't play digital card games. I start tweaking if I don't have cardboard in my hands. So I couldn't stick with it. But I've heard extremely good things about the game. Yeah, the first-person text is kind of whack. And I don't like that they kept it on the Riftbound cards. I kind of hate that about the Riftbound cards. It makes them read really clunky. And I'm not... It was fine when it was just digital and it was, like, a digital gimmick. But... in paper, I hate it so much. It's super whack. But I heard the gameplay was extremely good. But yeah, okay. So what mechanics made me like the old game? It's tough, dude. There's so much going on with this game. It's so good. I think also, I will say too, the biggest thing about the Naruto CCG that made it so good is that it is a game where, like, for example, I'm not the biggest Naruto fan. I think it's fine. I never actually finished Shippuden. I watched all of the first season in, like, a summer, and never actually finished. I'm, like, halfway through Shippuden. I'm not the biggest Naruto fan, but I love this game, right? And that's what's important. This game is so good, and because the game is so good, by playing it, it'll make you, like the IP more. Basically, like, what I'm saying, like, if you play One Piece, you probably started by liking One Piece and then liked the game. I doubt there are that many people that like the One Piece card game and then through playing the One Piece card game began to like One Piece the IP. I genuinely believe you can play Naruto without liking the IP at all, and then through playing the game, you will start to, like, attach yourself to the IP more. And I think that's what's strongest about this game, is that it is just a good game on its own, and that through playing it, you will grow fond of the IP. I think that's really important. Yeah. The game, every mechanic is pretty much unique for its time, which is awesome. Yeah, right. This game plays, I guess I would say fundamentally, it plays a lot like, I guess like Edison era Yu-Gi-Oh! It has the what the heck? It has the gimmick of you can only play one ninja a turn, so you have normal summons. Basically. Um, and has like it has the pacing of old Yugs of like 2010 era Yu-Gi-Oh, but it has a lot of the like gameplay and skill testing elements of Magic. With the instance, with all the jutsus are instant speed, and you cast them during your battle phase. And it has a lot of like the testing elements of Magic. Of like, your opponent can be holding any jutsu in their hand, but in order to cast it, they need to spend specific chakra on it. So if you just keep track of your opponent's chakra area and you're familiar enough with the metagame, you can always kind of keep track of what they have access to. Similar to Magic the Gathering, of if your opponent passes their turn with two islands up, the chances are like they are representing a counterspell, right? Naruto is kind of the same way of when they like swing in with a team and they have like 3 water chakra, you know they are representing a giant vortex jutsu, and you can like play around that information. So there's this big information game you have to play that's really fun. The battle phase is really strong. I like the whole way that you can approach combat is really cool because you stack ninjas into teams. There's a lot of ways to approach combat. You can try to bash your opponent over the head with a giant stack, or you can try to go wide and chip them. If you do a giant stack, it sometimes can be easier for your opponent to out the stack. If I'm not mistaken, when can you assemble the team? Because if I'm not mistaken, you assemble, you like pre-battle phase assemble the squad, and then you swing with it. Which means that does the blockers get to make a squad? I don't think so, right? Yeah, they're assembled start of battle. Does the blocking player get to assemble a squad? Okay, like the game, and I watched 10 episodes of One Piece, didn't care about it, just like the game, had to drop though because I mean that's fair. I think that's valid. I guess my gripe with One Piece is like, if you like One Piece, then you will like. If you like One Piece, you will like Dragon Ball the same. You will like Gundam the same. Like they're all like so extremely similar. Like the chances are you will like them. There is no other game that really plays like Naruto. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So at the start of your combat, you make your squad. You swing, you pass. Whatever you do with your squad, you are locked into that for on your opponent's turn from when you block, right? So let's say you build some big super kill squad column and you swing at your opponent and they go, all right, I'll block with a little bit, I'll take a damage, right? But now you're committed to this giant stack. So your opponent can respond by taking their team, splitting it into 3 different ninjas and poking you down. And they can try to damage race you that way. So you have to be really smart with your attacks because like a lot like in Magic, you have to be really and in Battle Spirits, you have to be really conscious of the attacks you're making because they will determine what kind of defense you can play. So you have to constantly be thinking about not only your offense, but what kind of defense you want to represent on your opponent's turn, because you can't change your squad until your next like main phase. I don't use Talk No Jutsu in the Naruto card game? Maybe. Before combat after main phase 1, defender doesn't. Okay, defender's not. That's what's important. Yeah, that's what's important. So yeah, the defender doesn't get to assemble a team. So whatever you commit on offense is what you have to block with. I think that's really cool. Imagine if Magic's banding was good. Yeah, basically. It was a game built around the idea of banding. So that's really cool. The whole damage system is really neat. The fact that the ninjas, there's no health. They just can take 2 hits. So it makes blocking really interesting and chumping really viable. And like the effects only work if they're upright. So once they take damage, some of their effects will turn off. Like, yeah, there's a really cool risk versus reward game that you have to play and manage. And so it's like a nice skill testing element. How big you can make your squad because you can get either 2 battle rewards or you could actually deal 2 damage to the lead ninja. Yeah, right? So you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to prioritize. Do you want to take out your opponent's ninja? But if you want to take out your opponent's ninja, you have to make them block. Or you can try to deal a lot of damage, but if you deal a lot of damage, your blockers aren't going to be great. You can only chump. So there's just this whole thing. It's so cool. It's such a cool game. I think you only pay 1 mission per turn. I think you're right. think that's correct. I think you only get 1 mission per turn. I think. But even if you don't, a lot of missions have hand costs. Almost every mission in the game makes you discard a card. So like, even if you could, you probably even wouldn't want to spam a bunch of missions in a turn because you ditch your entire hand. Like you'd probably want to only play 1 mission outside of like extreme situations where like some cards are like really broken. Imagine losing an NPC character and got Naruto on board. I mean, I guess, but like that's why I hate IP games. Again, like, ooh, that's why I hate it. Dude, the NPC characters went hard. Put some respect on the NPC characters. They were goated. They'd run you for everything in your pockets. It was great. Now I'm gonna do Jakey Homemade. Just run around. No, it's easy combat. Go for it. Do it. Do it. Yeah, the client cards. There were some bonkers clients in this game. Let me see if I can remember which ones they were. Was it? I mean, this set was broken. I mean, this card I saw in a deck profile from like 3 months ago. Like this card got played. This card came out in like set 4. It got played in like set 28. This card got played for freaking forever. Who the heck is Amy? I don't know, but she's busted. She just hand rips. A lot of the broken cards for the chibi sets. Yeah, that makes sense. There were some at the very start. There were some busted ones. Yeah, you put them. You also had female as an archetype in this game, which is there was actually a female deck that was all about flipping coins. It was like some kind of like sisters or something. That was really fun. You can only play 1 mission per turn. Also, before combat, you can change any number of cards from your hand into the chakra area. Yeah, right. You wouldn't really want to. You could just hand rip yourself to charge chakra, but it normally wasn't worth it. You'd rather just play your cards. But this card was awesome. If you have 2 female ninjas or clients in your village, you just hand rip your it's a trap dust shoot. It's literally dust shoot, but for jutsus and missions. The female mental battle deck, yeah, dude, the mental power female deck was sick. There are so many like famously broken cards in this game. It's kind of like, and they're like all iconic to remember. Like the Shikamaru, the Shikamaru was busted. The mental power 4 Shikamaru that just let you discard 2 cards to do a mental battle. You could out any board with this guy. Like him by himself beat almost like you could have a 1 million power team. This guy would beat it on its own. It's really funny. Women tribal sure is a notable thing. Yeah, there was women tribal. That deck was fun. Whereas this Hokage was broken. Yeah, this card was awesome, dude. And it was valid. Dude, the fact that the thing was valid was crazy. Batman Ninja. Ninja Dogs is a good deck. Ninja Dogs is still relevant. I think it top 8'd a Gen Con in 2025. You can totally play the Ninja Dogs deck. It's super good. Where's my girl? Where's my girl? Is it Path? It's not Path, right? That'd be crazy if she was in Path. Oh wait, I think she's a promo. This game also did the Bandai thing of having broken promos. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Or it's not in like this list? I could have sworn she was a promo. I guess I'm wrong. Hold on. I gotta find this. I'm gonna go crazy if I don't find this card. Yeah, no, okay, but it's not like an alt art. I could have sworn it was a promo. They might not also have all the promos. This site's a little iffy with yeah, this is the tournament pack stuff. With all of its stuff. Here's a PlayStation card that changed from year to year with its effect. Oh, yeah. They did be doing. There's some. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I guess these are reprints. That would make more sense. I think. Oh, dude, where is. What if I just Google it? Sure, that works. Yeah, this card. ADP Sakura, dude. Oh, ADP Sakura. She didn't be until Naruto's unaffected by all their card effects. Oh, yeah. It only had 4 power. But it was still pretty swag. Unaffected, still pretty good. Dude, this card's crazy. ADP Sakura. Oh, maybe she wasn't a promo. Oops, I thought she was. During the exchange of jutsu, so basically like during the flash step or like the instant speed part of the combat, you can just exchange all the cards in your hand with the same amount of cards from the top of your deck. So you just swap your hand with the top of your deck, so you get a free filter. And because it doesn't put them back randomly, you could take any bad card in your hand, put it on top, and then let your opponent deal you a damage to just discard that card off the top of your deck. So you could throw away all your trash into your damage zone. And she had mental power 3. And she was a 1/1. So even when she got injured, she could still have a 1 support value as a 0 drop. She was bonkers. This card was so meta. I have to go. Thank you, brother. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Thank you so much for coming back to the stream. I will catch you Monday. That'll be the next stream. I don't know what I'm going to do on Monday's stream. We'll figure something out, though. Ambush? Yeah, Ambush was cool. Ambush was cool. Actually seen that card before? But yeah, the card's crazy. This card's so strong. It's the blue player in me. Oh, dude. I love blue. Blue's the best color in Magic. If you disagree, you're wrong. Just the gamer color. True gamers know blue, man. True gamers know blue. Yeah, dude, this game had so many like cool broken cards. Like you look back at old Yu-Gi-Oh formats and weird way to pronounce black. I do like black. That's the second favorite. This game had so many like cool broken cards, like in the same way that you look back on like old Yu-Gi-Oh formats where you're like, no one finally remembers like Yada locking people, right? But like when you look back at Edison and you think of like Raiko Caius, right? Of these just like cool, really strong staples that are like, yeah, card was fun to play. Blue Rapid Magic when you can play better Magic. Dude, throw back to when Standard was dominated by Simic decks for like 2 years in a row. That was a time to be alive. But yeah, chat. Not feeling super optimistic about the Naruto card game. Unfortunately. I don't play MTG, but isn't blue the stall? No. It is. Yeah, Oko then Uro, dude. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? It was like, bro. Then Growth Spiral? Growth Spiral? What do you mean it only costs a blue and a green? Yeah. No, that like era of Magic was insane. No, blue isn't a stall color. Blue is the gamer color. Blue is the color of card selection and value. But a lot of your blue cards are very understated and kind of weak. So if you mismanage your resources or play your cards wrong, you're going to get owned. Technically, every color is interaction. But blue is the color of, like, capital I interaction. Sort of. Blue either, like, stops things before they happen, or does, like, tempo-y plays. And then gives you card advantage. Kind of like Scroll Rack or Top. Well, Top is an artifact. I think Scroll Rack is also an artifact. Esper's fun. Dude, Esper decks are a blast. Esper Artifacts decks? Ooh. Ooh, like the Thopter. What is it? Thopter Sword of the Meek or something? The Thopter enchantment combo. Oh, what's the enchantment called? Okay, yeah, both are artifacts. The Thopter Foundry? Not the Foundry. Shit, what is it called? That deck is fun. That deck is so fun. When Jinzo came out, yeah, that is tough. Even play Standard in MTG? No one plays Standard in MTG. They killed that format. That format died. Sort of Feast and Famine, true. I hate the font, the logo. Yeah, it does look kind of bad. Now that you say it, it does look kind of bad. I don't think it's a placeholder though. I'm pretty sure that's what it actually. But you're kind of cooking with that actually. It does not look very good. You're right. I don't like that. Yeah, chat. Not super high on the Naruto card. Not super high. It's not even a Rasengan, it's the Naruto swirl. It's the swirl. Like on the Naruto. Get it? The Naruto swirl. Yeah, I don't like it. So yeah, chat. Not super high hopes on the Naruto card game. We'll have more information come end of July, and then we can really be depressed and wallow. But until then, I'm just gonna continue to cope and just pretend that we're getting a revival of the Naruto CCG, because to be honest with you guys, that's the only thing keeping me sane right now. So we're just gonna pretend that it's the Naruto TCG. You know, we're just gonna pretend. Yeah, right. It's kind of. I know Chaotic said they're gonna. I don't know. I have no idea what they were talking about with that. It could be like, literally, could be corporate jargon speak of like, we're updating the mechanics for a modern player base, like whatever the heck that means, or like straight up they could just be changing the game. I have no idea, and we're not gonna know until we see some cards. So we're just gonna have to wait on that. That one, I have no idea what they can mean for that. But Chaotic looks fine. But if it's just, yeah, if it's a straight up reprint of Dawn of Param, that's gonna be bad news bears. That's gonna be not very good if it's just Dawn of Param again. But fingers crossed, chat. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be good. I mean, I would be cool if we got more attack. I don't think they're gonna do that though. It'd be neat, but I don't think they're gonna do it. I highly doubt it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. More choices in Chaotic might be broken with how the attacks work and how the point system works. If you can make your attack deck too consistent, I think you actually break the game. Yeah, I think the game, if you can make your attack deck too consistent, the game just crumbles in half, like, immediately. You need to have to, like, force people to draw some dead hands of, like, 0-pointers in order to justify them being able to play these, like, 4-point bombs. If you can just consistently hit your, like, 30 damage turn over and over again, the game just, like, cracks in half. But we'll see. But yeah, I hope they don't change it too much. I don't even know how you could really change it without like making it making a bad impact. Well, yeah, right. Like if you can't make that game too consistent. Let me swap over to Big Cam. Sounds like they don't got faith in RTG because they don't even have the balls to call it Boruto or use him as the face of the way. That'd be smoronic if they made it Boruto. They already tried that once with Chrono Clash and it died immediately. That would be insane if they tried to do Boruto. I'm so glad they're not doing that. They're smart enough to not do Boruto. Because as long as they balance the creatures, the ones you're playing with on the online game are not balanced at all in effects, not stats. I get. No, I'm saying if you make the attack deck too consistent, you can hit like 30 damage turns all the time. So unless things have like crazy high energy, you can just two-shot everything in the game. Like that would be really bad for the game. It would actually water down the gameplay a lot. You need a little bit of variance of like hand quality to make the game semi-interesting. They got utility cards to the attack deck. I think that would be cool if there are more. But also, like, there's only so much you could really print utility-wise. Like, there's not that much a utility attack could do, especially when you're paying the opportunity cost of not dealing damage. Right? Chaotic is already a race. Chaotic is already a race. So if you take too many like off turns of not attacking, you're just gonna get outpaced like immediately. So like it's in a really awkward spot. Boruto's new manga is great. Too bad the old manga is garbage. So I will probably not be reading it. So yeah, I think it would be cool if they can figure it out, but it's like I don't see how they're doing that. Chaotic needs Pot of Greed. That's probably the only way they could give you more cards in hand, is if you have to take an off turn to... I hate that so much. If you could take an off turn to draw extra cards to then have choices, like you can get extra choices in hand, but you have to take a turn off of swinging to do it, that's probably the most fair and balanced way to do it. Probably? But I don't know. No, I will never forgive the Boruto manga. Because I saw a tweet, right? I saw a tweet that was, I don't think it was text. I think it might have been just an image. But the image was like, this is how the Boruto manga ends, and it was with Boruto in Sasuke's position, and whatever the frick the other guy's name in Naruto's position, and like they flip flop. I'm like, that's such a cool freaking idea. I have to read the manga to see how they pull that off. Like, what happens to the characters to get them to that point, right? And how they make Boruto do like Sasuke things. I'm like, that's such a cool idea. And then I read the manga, I got to the end, and they do it in, I kid you not, the worst way you could possibly fathom. I couldn't conceive a worse way to achieve that ending than what they did. Like, it was criminal. Like, I got so mad. I think I agree. I trust BDM. I think they can make it work. Like, I have faith that they can rebalance it successfully. I just don't know like I don't have any clue as to what like specific steps you could take without breaking the game in half. Because again, I've barely played it. My entire chaotic experience you have seen on stream. But yeah, Smooth Criminal. What? But yeah, I don't know. I hate the Boruto. I freaking hate the Boruto manga. That burned me so bad. I was so excited. I was so hyped. And it could not, even if I tried, come up with a worse way to achieve the ending they did. So bad. It was so bad. It was so bad, dude. It was so bad. But yeah. Chat. We're nearing the 3-hour mark. I think that's going to do it for today's episode of Complaining About Bandai. I think that's going to do it about... I know Twin Blue Vortex is better. But what I'm saying is the ending of Boruto is so horrendously bad that no matter how good Twin Blue Vortex could be a life-changing piece of media. But they burned me so bad, it does not deserve my read. That bridge has been burned. They burned that bridge. So, like, it could be better. I'm still not going to read it. As criminal, but cool Michael Jackson smooth. I mean, yeah. Yep. It was not smooth at all. I see. When I said that's criminal. It was not smooth whatsoever. Good about stuff for 3 years. I don't want to read your good 4th year in a manga. Yeah, and it's almost not even that. It was that, like, again, I was shown probably the coolest idea of all time and was super excited to see that idea happen. And then when that idea did happen, they did it in the worst, laziest, bad way I think I could come up with if I tried my hardest. I don't even know. I wasn't even mad. I'm just disappointed. You know what I mean? I was flabbergasted that that's what happened. It was so bad. What if Jump Comics made a TCG? What if Jump Comics made a fighting game? I wonder how well that would do. Guys, what if Shonen Jump made a fighting game? How good do you think that would do? You think that would do good? That's my answer to what if Jump Comics made a TCG. Yeah, chat. We're nearing the 3-hour mark. I think this has been a successful Complaining About Bandai stream. I'm gonna go head out and I don't know, maybe play some video games or something. Seeing report is always upsetting because now you can't do it again. The idea is wasted. It's not even that. It's not even that. It's that it was the coolest idea of all time, and they achieved it in the laziest, most unoriginal, uncreative, devoid of soul or passion way imaginable. It was I was so mad. I was fuming. I was fuming. Whatever. It could be like Jump Force. Yeah, that's my yeah, right? It'd be just like Jump Force. It'd be great. It'd be awesome. Yeah. No, that's the joke, is that it would be like Jump Force. That's the bit. That's the funny haha. If they Shonen Jump made a TCG, it'd be Jump Force. It would be worse than Battle Spirits. I don't know. With that being said, thank you guys so much for coming out to the stream tonight. A new video dropping Saturday for all of you Battle Spirits enjoyers.
I'm gonna stream something on Monday. Guy, what should we do Monday? What do you want to do Monday? Guys, what do we wanna? What are we thinking for Monday? I got nothing. I'll think of something. Like opinions chat. What do you want to do Monday? Cause I got nothing set in stone. I had this entire week planned out, but now I'm like next week. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I always do. Pro Rush Duels. I would stream Duel Links Rush Duels once we get Sky Saviors. I think they got spoiled. I think it's Sky Saviors. Once we get those in Rush Duels, I might stream Duel Links because that deck looks so much fun. We'll see though. Bandai's next TCG on Monday. Do you think they're gonna announce another TCG Monday? That'd be insane. Oh, that'd be insane. They did? Okay, yeah. I might stream Duel Links when we get those. That'd be fun. I don't know if I'd EDO Pro Rush Duels. Maybe. I'd have to do a lot of research into like metas and stuff. Maybe we do a Rush Duels game. That could be cool actually. I need to look into it though. I have to download EDO Pro. I don't even have it. Is it on Omega? Let's see. Try to create the Naruto TCG before Bandai drops it. I did. It's called the Naruto CCG. We've already looked at it. It's right there. Oh, Duel Links is so expensive. Duel Links is insanely expensive. But that could be cool, like progression thing. I'll try to build the Sky Savior deck, and then slowly do that over time. That could be cool. But maybe I will just play Duel Links on EDO Pro. That might be kind of chill. Because Duel Links, or not Duel Links, maybe I will try to play Rush Duels on EDO Pro. Because that format is so fun. It's crazy how much fun Rush Duel is. Makes you think about, yeah, I'm glad I dropped out of Zero when I did. But, yeah. Hey, Lexi Dragon is awesome. It's cool. Sphere Crib, I have no idea. I haven't played Speed Duel or Rush Duel in, last time I played Rush Duel, I proxied up some decks when the hero stuff came out. When the new Flame Wingman looking guy came out. That's when I proxied up some Rush. So, like, 2 years ago or something. In a while. Dropped off the Chaos Breaker? Yeah, no, that's valid. I dropped it at, like, Shadow Paladin. I dropped it really early. I got so bored. Couldn't do it. Yeah, dude, the worst part is when they hit G and they started doing the Duel Links box structure. So it was impossible to actually get your card. Like, before it was, like, tough to get cards, but doable. Once they started doing the Duel Links style boxes, it became impossible to finish decks. It was so annoying. But you actually had to spend money. I was upset. I was upsetty spaghetti. Yeah, maybe I'll do that over the weekend. I'll look up some Rush Duel decks and we'll play some EDO Pro Rush Duels. That actually sounds like a fun idea. That format is so much fun. So yeah, Amber Dragon deck, that was very early on. With that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. I cherish our conversations. And yeah, I'll catch you guys Monday with some Rush Dueling. We can check out what is the modern landscape of Rush Duels. How has the game changed? Because I got super into Rush Duels when, like, the first season came out. Like, we had just gotten the maximums. Like, the first season had just finished. Like, they just when I stopped playing Rush Duels, they had just revealed Baseball Utopia. So I'm excited to see exactly how the landscape of that game has changed and what's new and what's different. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry. I will see you guys Monday. Have a good rest of your night, everybody. Goodbye. Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of your night.